Apologies. I am a little bit late today, but we will get into it. Listen, I want to know if anyone can guess. I'd love to know if anyone could guess the reason why I'm late. If you can get it right, I'll be amazed. Not one person will. I mean, I was just getting well carried away, and I was a little bit bored this morning. Not much football to talk about, but we got a little bit of news, right? There's a little bit of news today, so we can talk about that. Mark Cousins, how are you doing, mate? Good morning. All of you guys, good morning to you guys that were sitting waiting. I do apologize. I'll go a little bit longer for you guys as well, because why not? I completely forgot it was on. It wasn't gaming a little bit. I was a little bit on Football Manager, but that wasn't the main reason. I do love Football Manager at the moment. I'm currently managing Sheffield United. Good morning to all you guys. Buenos dias. What's happening? Oh, Susie, you know what happened. She woke me up and gave me a quick call. I'm on my way. See? No, it wasn't. I wasn't asleep. Do you know what it was? I'll be honest. I've been really watching a lot of historical documentaries on YouTube. So I've been watching things like about World War II and North Korea and stuff like that. And I was literally watching a video about North Korea. I'm just being really fascinated with it all recently. Don't know why. It's not Susie's fault. Thanks, Susie, for getting me here on time. She's a goddess. We love her to bits. That must be playing Candy Crush. No, I'm not. I don't play it. There you go. Bing, bing, ding, ding, ding. Currently getting my Sheffield United team up to the Premier League is my plan at the moment. That's what I've been doing at the moment. But yeah, lateness is greatness. I'm here, guys. I'm here. People keep saying to me about doing a Football Manager stream, but I think it'll be really, really boring. If people want me to, I'll be happy to. Morning, Kate. How are you doing? Do you want to come on? If anyone wants to come on, you're more than welcome. Kate, if you want to. And guys, can we get the likes up? Let's go straight in and get the likes up to 50. Rule 101, isn't it? But yeah, how are you moving on Sunday? Good luck with that, by the way. Good luck. I was gaming half. As I said, I was watching documentaries about North Korea. No, not that. No, I'm all good. Oh, do you know what I was earlier? I was watching all the highlights of all our games this season. I was watching them genuinely. I was. No, I was going to say Football Manager. I get half. Well, yeah. Football Manager. I was half playing it. No, I miss her. I wish. Ask Susie. That's all I'm going to say. No, Soren. I wish. She'll be in the chat in a second, just going completely quantifying it. I wish I was doing my hair. It looks an absolute state this morning. I do apologise for the hair. I was rushing around. I like 40 minutes ago. Mark Cousins is a real one. That's why he's one of the top mods. I would, but I'm not even showered yet. Oh, fair enough, Kate. Fair enough. If you want, let me know. I'm going to stay on for a little bit, maybe 2 hours, and then redirect everyone straight to Sava's 24-hour charity stream. So, Jim was too. He's been watching Andrew. Yeah, listen, I've been watching some of it. But listen, I want to get people's thoughts this morning on Harry Kane's comments. Give me a second. Normally I prep all this, but let's. I'm not sunburned. I was last week. I was back in the UK. I got it from Bournemouth. It was, but yeah, I'm all right now. I'm all right. The tan's come through. The tan phase has now come through the sunburn. I'm going to quickly, just give me a moment. I'm going to have to log in to the wonderful that is X, because I want to bring up Harry Kane's comments. Has any of you seen it or not? I would expect it's been passed through group chats and all that lot of Harry Kane's comments. So some people are disappointed with them. Yeah, some people are disappointed, but I think, here we go. Here it is. I'll use Romano's version of it. And then as a group, let's talk about it, because do you know what? It's an actual talking point. We haven't had much to talk about for a while, so this is an actual talking point, right? Here we go. Now, can you all see that? Kane has stated, we wanted to win at Spurs, but if you went a couple of games without winning, it wasn't a disaster. At Bayern, you have to win every game. After 3-1 and 4-0 wins, the first two games, there was there was talks about not being too happy about the way we played. Top club mentality. Now, guys, what are we to say on that? So, some people are disappointed. Yeah, I agree. Paul saying he was disappointed. Big up, Paul. How you doing, mate? Harry Who, Guten Morgen. Yes, yeah, I've seen it. I thought Kane took a bit of a dig at us, not caring if we win or lose your game. But he's referring to he's referring to as I don't think he's referring to the way we're playing football, right? I think he's referring to the fact that we don't really achieve much, right? I'm going to sit on the fence. I'm going to real fence it this one because it's good for a debate. It's good being the host to fence it. You could argue Harry Kane's comments are directed at Daniel Levy, directed at the board, saying, well, you haven't really want us to win anything. You don't really care. Like, the bassoon stuff. We'll talk about that after. I couldn't give a monkey's at Harry. Yeah. But listen, I think what Harry Kane's actually come out and said, I think what he's come out and said is just called out the board, right? He's called it out. Is that something that we agree or disagree with, right? I think as if we all want change of ownership at this football club, so surely what he's saying is the right thing. Didn't want us to win. Big up Wayne. Saying you have small club mentality. That's the top and bottom of it. Yeah, I agree. I think the one people are getting annoyed about is that he could have said, no, the fans deserve more, right? He could have come out and said, the fans deserve more than what they've got here, right? That for me is the key. That is the crux of it. He didn't really have to bring up all of the stuff about. He's clearly not referring. Yeah, exactly. He wants to win every game, and that's what it meant to. That's what I read it as. Okay, I agree with you. My missus is jealous. I spent more with you, Kate, Sava, Henry, and Sean on YouTube. A big up, Alpinder. Much love. Send love to your missus as well. Big up to her as well. In the EPL, you're expected to lose some games. In Germany, Bayern Munich isn't expected to lose any games because they're no, Joe, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that one bit. What he's coming out, he's not coming out and saying that. What he's saying is at Bayern Munich, if you lose, it is a big disaster. Spurs lose a game of football, it's okay, we'll move on. We bounce back. He's actually calling out a lot of stuff that happens in England, right? In my opinion, we have this mentality in England that, oh, well, we move on, we bounce on, we do this again. No, Bayern Munich win at all cost. You win at all costs. If you lose a game, it is catastrophe. We could take a note out of clubs in Europe and the way they operate. Win, lose, or draw. There's no option. You have to win, right? Yeah, I agree though with this though. This should be. If I was when Ange Postecoglou comes back, by the way, I want him to read out those comments from Harry Kane to every single one of the players and say, "Do you accept that? Are you guys here happy to accept losing? Because I'm not. We win at all cost. Use it as propaganda, right? Yeah, get her to join up and then get some more subscribers. Yeah, guys, big up to you guys if you're new and want to subscribe. We are at 40 viewers to talk that again. 42 here today. We're currently only 38 subscribers now away from 2,200. I feel this last 100 has been a real slog, right? Real slog. It hasn't helped with international has already started. Kane's ego already growing by the looks of it. No, I don't think it has. Do you know what it is? I always find with when these things come out, I always find when this stuff comes out, it's very much misleading the quotes. I think he's come out and said the right things. He's an elite football player, but it tells me why he wanted to get out of the club, right? All these people saying, nah, he loves Tottenham, he wants to stay. No, he doesn't. He's wanted to leave for years. He's just a professional. He was a senior player, so it was his job. Yeah, I agree. Kane can make those comments. This is why I'm going to flip it, right, Paul? I'll flip it. And Paul, if you want to come on, mate, you're more than welcome as well. Good to have you on the show. Definitely, always welcome on as well. I'll flip it for a second. Kane's comments. He was a player within finals that didn't turn up in finals, right? So when we can talk about Harry Kane making these comments, which is fine, he's entitled to his opinion. He has to remember he was there when we were in finals. 2 Carabao Cup finals he didn't score. A Champions League final he didn't score in. He was part of teams that capitulated at the end of seasons, so we didn't win league titles. So I'm not blaming him. I'll always say this. You can't have it both ways, right? You can't have it both ways. He's rattled the entire... Wayne, he hasn't rattled. No, Wayne, this is when you use superlatives, the entire fan base. No, I think a lot of the fan base have actually sat back and gone, no, I get what he's saying. Fans are annoyed that he didn't sort of exclude the fans in it. That's what I'm saying. He didn't exclude it. Let's bear in mind, we sing his name week in, week out when he was here. Just saying. I'm not going to sit there and have a go. Listen, he is what he is. He's still an icon to me. Shows Kane isn't a fan of Spurs, else he would have felt the pain when we lose games. No, but Kane, football players aren't. This is where people need to remember. Football players are not football fans. I'm putting it out there. They used to be before they played, but they're not after. I recite back to what Ben Foster said on his podcast, and if you haven't seen it, go and watch what Ben Foster said. Ben Foster came out and said, as soon as you sign a professional contract, your allegiance to the club that you supported as a kid completely dies, because most of the time you're playing against them, right? Most of the time you're playing against them and you want to beat the team that you loved. He said, I used to support Tottenham when I was a kid, he said, I don't care. I like watching Tottenham play as a neutral, but I don't support them anymore, right? I don't sit there and get excited when they win games. Football players don't feel like that anymore. Kane's not going back watching us play, right? I'm just saying. I think he's saying that we don't. I agree, Balpinder. Everything we all say about us not having ambition, Kane says it, and we all cry about it. Nah, not for me. Big up, Daniel Harris. How you doing, mate? Is he here? No, stuff him. Yeah, I agree, Mark. I don't care. Listen, I'll sit there and say, I don't care, right? I don't care what he says. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect the way we play. I care about my own number 10, James Maddison, now. And Mark's bang on it. Let's prove Harry wrong. Now show him we're better without him. I agree. Go and win something without him, and then we can point back and say, maybe you were the problem, Harry. Do you know what I mean? Isn't that what every Premier League club win is do lose and we move on? Yeah, that's what I mean. But in Bayern Munich, you're not. If you lose games of football, if you lose a couple of games for Bayern Munich, it's catastrophe, right? Elite club. Same with Real Madrid and all that lot. All these clubs are elite football clubs. Thoughts, Perchy, on a potential Sun contract extension? Yeah, good on him. It makes sense for the club, makes sense for him. It will just mean he retires here, doesn't it? Let's be honest. If he stays and signs another contract, it would mean he was going to retire at Tottenham, right? Bayern lost 5 games last year. Man City lost 5 games. Yeah, exactly. Man City are exactly the same. If they lose games of football, it's a catastrophe, right? Man City are the only proper elite football club in this country anymore. Thanks, Kate. Mark, I thought it was obvious we are better without him. Yeah, we're playing better football. I agree. We lost 40 games. Yeah, Paul, I'll send you over the link, mate. Give me just a second. I'll get a few. If people want to jump on, let me get some links over to some people. Paul, I've got to remember, I'm not sure if I've got your number somewhere, but let me have a look. I'm sure I have, by the way. Ah, there it is. I've got you. I'll send you it over, Paul. Get you on, my friend. Where are you? There he is. There you go, Paul. I'll get you on. And Soren wants to jump on as well. There you go, my friend. There you go, guys. I've got you linked over. We lost 14 games last year. Exactly. Enough said. 14 games isn't good enough, right? Yeah, we all forget he isn't here anymore. That's the thing. Maybe, hopefully, this stops people going on and on about Harry Kane. listen, it's news. That's what the only reason I'm doing it is because it's news. We haven't really got much to talk about. There's two more things one that Robbie brought up, and one that I want to talk about. What did Harry Kane not see? Sorry, Daniel, I had it up just a moment ago. Basically, he came out and said, I'll put it up. I'll put it up for your benefit, mate. I'll put it back up for you for just a second, and I'll read it back out. Kane came out and said yesterday, hey, we wanted to win at Spurs, but if you went a couple of games without winning, it wasn't a disaster. At Bayern Munich, you have to win every game. After winning 3-1 and 4-0, but in the first two games, there was talks about not being happy, but not being too happy. About the way we play, top club mentality. He's basically just saying that at Tottenham, win, lose or draw, it don't really matter, right? That's what he's coming out and saying. But yeah, no, man, maybe this is a club now. Let's leave it out now. Shapiro's not profess to be a fan of them. Look who we've got on. I can't remember if he's been on or not, but he's here. God, Paul, how you doing, my friend?
Oh, all right, man. How are you going?
We've been doubled up. Look, it's like a London buses. When one turns up, both of them turn up. How you doing, Soren? How you doing, mate?
Not too bad.
Good.
Yeah, it's pretty rough doing streams when there's nothing happening, isn't there?
It's tough, isn't it? Trying to find stuff. Listen, I made a game show yesterday. I did a game show yesterday, which was quite fun. But yeah, you're right. When there's not much to talk about, it's a bit boring. But guys, listen, there's a little bit of news. I mean, it's not really news. It's just comments made by Harry Kane. Guys, what are your thoughts about it? Paul, let me know your thoughts, mate. What you thought about it?
Me?
Yeah, go, mate. Go.
Yeah, like when I heard it, I was just like, I felt a bit like flat and disappointed.
Yeah.
You know, like if you compare it to how Ange Postecoglou talked about his previous employment, he was always, very praising, even to the point of when, all the English journals are saying, oh, well, you're coming to a big league now because it's shit in Scotland. He said, well, no, I've got better players and better resources, so the challenge is always kind of the same thing. And then you get Harry Kane saying, oh, you could lose some games at Spurs. Wasn't a disaster. Well, maybe not for him, but it certainly was for a lot of us a lot of the time, So just disappointing and unnecessary. And, I start going off with the theories, man. I think, well, was he part of the mentality problem that we've had the last few years? I mean, that might be harsh, but it came from his own bloody mouth, man,
No, listen, and Soren, Paul's made a really good point here. Really, really good point. But the bit I would say was, is this what fans have been saying, right? Fans have been saying about we don't really lack ambition as a football club. We don't want to go out there and win it all, and we don't strive to win it all. Is Harry Kane's comments justified on that sense of it? And should we be annoyed at him for saying those things?
I would look at it in a slightly twisted way. If you're a professional footballer, shouldn't you take pride in winning every match anyway? And if you're a professional footballer taking the money you're earning and you're happy to lose, then that's something about you. Now, yes, we've heard this under Conte as well, that the club didn't have that winning mentality. But I think what you've got to look at is, yes, we haven't. And we know where the problems lie with that one. But you are talking about two different clubs, in one that's used to winning everything in Germany.
Yep.
One that's not used to winning anything in England, or for a long time anyway. So we're not expected to win the league at the moment. So, yeah, you kind of look at it and think, well, we're not going to win every game because we are in a more competitive league as well. So we've got to take that into account, that you can't just look at it and think, well, we're playing weaker teams than ourselves all the time, because we're not. But I am a little bit disappointed in him. But I also think it's a flip. It's a flip of the coin that I'm not surprised, but I do think it's a bit bad that, when you left the club, just move on.
Yeah, that's fair. No, listen, that's fair. But I mentioned just earlier as well, and on this topic, and I'd like to get your guys' thoughts. Look, the sheriff is in town, of course, Mr. Cousins. I'll get your thoughts.
Hey, hello, Mark.
Definitely. How you doing, mate? what I would say is as I mentioned there, if I was Ange Postecoglou now, when they're all coming back from international duty, I'd pull them into the big meeting room things that they have where they show stuff on the projectors and stuff, and I'd put it up there and go, hey, look, that's what the talents. That's what you're saying about us now. Go and prove that we want to go and win stuff this season. Go and prove him wrong. Because listen, it would be really poetically the poetic justice of me. The poetic side of me goes, it'd be amazing if we won something this year. The year he leaves and we go and win something this year. It would be poetic. Listen, I'm not sitting there suggesting that we will because we're already out of one tournament. But let's be honest, like it would be incredible. But listen, Mark, I'll come to you, mate. What are your thoughts on his comments?
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You know,
to be fair.
I mean, he's not here anymore. Why is everyone worrying about it? So what? All right,
I'm really worried about it because there's nothing else to talk about.
Well, yeah.
The big question is, why didn't he come out with this while he were playing for us then?
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. That's a great, absolute bang on point there. If he felt like this, then why did he not come out and say it? Maybe for all we know, is he said it privately? Maybe for all we know, we don't know. But you're right. Maybe he should have come out and said this publicly and said, "Oh," but then he doesn't want to burn bridges. But now I feel since he's gone to Bayern Munich, there's something has happened in it with him, and I don't know what everything's shaking. By the way, something has happened since he left for Bayern Munich that has really rattled his cage. I made it, and I think it's got something to do with the way that he left, right? And I'm going to put this out there, and I'd like to get your thoughts on it because did anyone notice that he didn't do this sort of? You look at other players like Ruben Neves doing I'm not saying we should have done that. Like I'm not one of these people that's sentiment in that sense. I'll sit down and do an interview, and the club puts it out. He did a 60-second video on his phone saying, "Thank you, Spurs fans," blah blah blah, while standing outside the Bayern Munich training facility to get his medical or whether in the hospital when he's having his medical done. Like, and other players, you look at Ruben Neves sitting back going and doing those sit-down interviews about how he loved the club, blah, 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 when he left for Saudi Arabia. Something has happened with him. And then after that, subsequently after that, what happened on every single one of his socials? Tottenham Hotspur was wiped off every bit of social media of his socials. It's all about him at Bayern Munich. And he was putting stuff out daily about Bayern Munich. Listen, that's fine. He is his own. He can do what he wants. I think whoever said it, I can't remember who said it. I think it was you, Mark, said it. Let's move on, right? Is that the right thing to do? Let's not worry about what he says anymore. We move on. We're a different club. It's, as we say, it's a new era under Postecoglou. Paul, fire away, mate. Are you in that sentiment?
Mark's got a point there. Move on. I'm just disappointed, man. You know, and I'd agree. There's something like the other thing he was talking about in the press conference is, the Champions League finals at Wembley, the Euros are at Wembley, and I'm thinking, hold your horses, man. You know, that's so far away. You know, it's almost like humility's just dropped out of his persona or something. You're talking about, you're going to be a European champion now twice over just because you've left bloody Tottenham Hotspur. And look, when you hear the way Harry Kane's talking now, we've all seen the video of Eric Dyer having a laugh about not winning anything. These are the guys, the senior players. It was their job. I know we're owned by clowns or whatever, but it's their job to perform on the pitch. You've got people making sacrifices to go and support them. It's not.
Yeah.
It's a disaster for them if we lose because, you know, we've lost a lot of games over Harry Kane's tenure that we should have won, where the team spirit just went out completely.
Yeah,
he was a big part of that. So yeah, but Mark is right. Mark is right. I'm going to move on. That's it. There we go. But you wouldn't hear Gary Mabbott say it, Mark, would you?
No, definitely not. No.
But it's a great point, and Soren, I'll get your take on this. But listen, it's very easy for Harry Kane to come out with these comments. But isn't he equally part of the problem where we didn't win finals? Not saying it's all his fault, but we were in 3 cup finals under him, a few semi-finals with him that didn't get over the line. We played 3 finals. He didn't score in any of them, right? So you could argue, listen, he can have his opinion, but he was part of the teams that didn't win finals, right?
Well, I mean, Harry Kane is the greatest goal scorer our club has had.
Agreed.
He's probably one of the best strikers the Premiership have seen. He won nothing with a team that reached 3 finals. He never really seemed to rally the troops when we were down a lot. You know, you'd see him sort of having a little bit, but you never saw him shouting at people and trying to get this winning mentality. But the one thing I will say is, look, he's left. Have we noticed he's gone? No.
No, I agree.
No. Have we missed him? No. We're still scoring goals. We're still winning games. He's gone. Now, I know when I see people leave jobs and they start a new job and all of a sudden you're all bullish because you're in a new team and everybody's up for it and all this lot. And look, I dare say that he was, you know, he'd had enough at Tottenham. And
agreed, yeah. I think few years, there's a lot of built-up animosity in him at the moment where he wanted to go to Man City. It didn't happen.
Look, I mean, it's not about that, though. But the thing is, you look at him, and we are not Harry Kane FC. We are Tottenham FC. He's a player that has gone. We don't need him now. The way things are going, we don't need him now. We're not missing him. We're not. We've managed to score goals. We're scoring more goals now than we did last season. So
yeah, that's so very true. Very true.
Maybe it's a little piece of when he went and suddenly sees how we're playing. Maybe he's. I mean, I'm not saying he is, so don't start jumping on me. But you know, maybe he's looking at it thinking, I wonder if this season they are going to win something and they're going to win it without me. I'm going to look a proper fool now that I've moved on and they're going to win something. They're not missing me, but look. He's always going to have a place on my heart because
of course,
our club. But I haven't looked at that team thinking, oh God, Harry Kane's not playing for us this season. I've just looked at it. Bloody hell, you know, we look good, we look fine. Oh yeah, Harry Kane's not playing. Full stop.
No, I agree. Listen, like it had to happen. Everyone knew it was happening. There was still people that stuck their head in the sand saying, he's not going. He's not going. I stood consistent all summer. If the price tag is hit, he's gone.
Yeah.
So for me, yeah. No, I was never head in the sand. I didn't stick my head in the sand with any of this. I knew it was going to happen. Listen, and you're right. We're scoring goals. 11 goals in 4 games. We've averaged at the moment a 3-1 win, realistic, give or take a little bit. We're averaging winning 3-1 every game at the moment. That's how we're playing on goal difference and stuff. So we're scoring 3, conceding 1 a game. He's averaging it. Here's the question now. And I'll put this to Mark. Is Richarlison, I'm going to slightly move over, starting to be a little bit of a worry? If you see another thing with him crying in on the dugout last night. Well, we would have been last night in the middle of the night when they were playing. I can't remember who. I can't remember who Brazil played, but because he missed another sitter. Is there a big worry now with Richarlison as our number 9?
From what I understand, the way Ange has played, he doesn't rely on his striker to bang loads of goals.
They still score though. They still score goals.
Yeah. But
they do score goals. I know what you're trying to say. Though.
Yeah, but like, you know, as long as we win, I don't really care who scores. It could be Vicario. You still celebrate, you know.
If he scores, I'm going ballistic. By the way,
you remember out there. Was it Paul Robinson?
Against Ben Foster. I remember that against Watford.
Yeah,
that was such a good goal.
This is how long ago that was. I was watching that on teletext. and it clicked up, Tottenham 1, Watford 0, Robinson. And I was like, no, that's not right. It can't be right.
Glitch in the system.
Yeah. I thought, it'll change in a minute. It'll come up, correction. But Richarlison, he's all right, but he's nothing. I mean, let's face it. Richarlison is basically like when Man United lost Alex Ferguson, and who coming after him? It was the Everton manager, wasn't it?
Moyes, yeah.
Yeah, it was Moyes that followed Sir Alex. It was like that, I mean, you got an absolute legend at your club, like we did with Harry. Who's going to replace him? Nobody. Nobody's going to score the goals that Harry did, or certainly the amount.
I don't know. I disagree with you. I think Sonny could. Okay. I think Sonny could.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree. Son has to play down the middle for me. I think Son, if Son plays down the middle this season, all season, doesn't get injuries, I will say he'll get 25 plus goals this season. Genuinely. And I think he could be on course. And listen, this is not knee-jerk because he scored a hat-trick. We've seen it last season where he scored a hat-trick and then didn't score for 10 or so games, whatever it was after. But I just feel in this system, and he has to have like a Solomon on that left-hand side. People shoot me for it when I said about I think Solomon's going to be a really, really integral part of that front three. Notice what Solomon did when he got his 2 assists against Burnley. Gets it on the left, whips it across goal. Doesn't cut back, put it back to a fullback. Gets it straight across goal. And when you've got someone like Heung-min Son, who, by the way, absolutely incredible football player, who score from those areas. I felt all along on that left-hand side, he was very, very lost on that left-hand side. He doesn't have that bursting pace he had before.
No.
Where he was, where he used to, when he was out on that left, he was getting past players. He was unpredictable. Down the middle, though, he's a vocal point right down the middle. He's the captain down the middle, led by example. Paul, what did you think about dropping Richarlison, bringing in a Heung-min Son down the middle?
Yeah, I mean, you could just see in the Burnley game, those 3 goals that Son got, they're all class goals. Whether he was finding himself in space, and that's what it's not just Richarlison his heavy touches. He just doesn't find himself in the right areas. But yeah, get to Mark's point. Like last year at Celtic, Celtic scored 114 goals, and their leading goal scorer, Kyogo Furuhashi, only scored 27 of them. So we're not as dependent on the lone striker, or rather, the lone striker is still going to get 20 to 30 goals, and that probably could be Heung-min Son. But we're going to get 80 goals elsewhere as well, and only let 30 in like Celtic. So our goal difference is going to be plus 80. So, but yeah, I'm liking Son up the middle, and he's just showing the guy's got so much composure and skill and technique. It's amazing we've still got him, and I'm glad we're trying to keep hold of him for a bit longer as well.
The thing is, we'll never know how good he could have been had he played through the front all the time, because you look at him, and I know he's had one prolific season when he got the Golden Boot, but he's played second fiddle to Kane. Had he been up front on his own, then you look at it and you think, how good could this player have been? And I know Kate in the chat will agree with me. Sonny is a world-class player. Just have to get that in Kate, especially because she bigs him up all the time. Big up to you, Kate, by the way. Hope you're still watching.
She's here somewhere.
Yeah, he's going to be the one that probably plays up through the middle the most this season. And I think it's a shame with Richie because his head has gone. His head has just absolutely trashed. She's answered. I thought she would. There
she is.
It's a shame because I think there is a player in Richie. He's not going to be the answer to replacing Kane. We know that. No. But I think we've got the replacement in Sonny. He just needs to be given that chance. And now we've got Solomon to play on the left, and we've got a little bit more option to replace him for the left. Then I think we could see him quite a bit more often. And we'll just have to see.
Well, you got to remember, you got to remember when Harry had glass ankles over the last however many years, a few years ago, Son always stepped up. Always.
I mean, just remind me, when Sonny got the golden boot, Kane played most of that season. He wasn't injured,
Yeah.
was it?
I don't think so.
He's got them
Yeah.
goals. Yeah, so
went
He has.
and he
But-
got
I would say this out of fairness, though. Kane's game was he offered so much of an outboard for Kane for Son that season, allowed Son to flourish there. And listen, but what we're doing now, I think Son down the middle is going to have to happen. Like, I don't think I'll be very disappointed if against Sheffield United, Richarlison's brought back in. Right, I'd be a little bit disappointed. I'd be like, oh, really?
I would now,
like, for me,
Well, as long as we win, I mean, maybe he needs a chance to play into form a bit, but as long as we win the game, that's the only thing.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's fair.
I think there was a point made earlier, and I think it was Paul, and I said it a few weeks ago that the difference is now it doesn't matter who scores the goals because and the thing is now we're not relying on Harry Kane to score and to assist because we've got Maddison now, and that's where it now allows Sonny to just be a striker, and rather than thinking Kane's got to come back and create something as well as scoring, which we will, that was the player. But now we've got the two players in Maddison and whoever's up front. It certainly makes the team a lot different. And who cares who scores?
Agreed.
I know we're not, but Barcelona, look at what they won with no striker on the pitch. They just played with like a midfield 10, basically. And I know we're not Barcelona before anybody starts chucking that. So
hit that one.
It doesn't matter who scores.
Barcelona.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who scores as long as we're scoring.
Yeah, no, listen, I agree. I agree totally on that point as well. Just realised something.
I mean, the bigger thing is from compared to this season, compared to last season, is stop conceding the goals. So we've got to score so many. If we don't concede as many, we don't need to score as many. That's the big difference.
That helps.
Our goal difference this year is the same as last year already after only 4 games.
Yeah. And the thing is, when you look at it, what's the difference this year? We're defending from the front as well. Instead of just relying on our defenders who couldn't defend last year, the whole team is defending, and that makes a big difference.
Send it to you, Alex.
That was my biggest problem last year. The defence was the worst part of the team.
Agreed.
And Conte
playing it
just believed that we could stick 10 behind the ball and win 1-0 when you got Dyer and Davis and all the rest of the rubbish in there.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, but the thing is, we've saying that they were rubbish. The whole team was rubbish. The whole mentality, the squad was rubbish. So I'm not saying that they're quality players. I mean, I think Davis is made a bit more of a scapegoat than he should be. Dyer was pathetic, but you look at the difference between every player that played last season compared to this season, and there isn't a single player that's carried on the same form as last year. Even Sanchez looked better this year.
I mean, it was still awful, but yeah, I agree. The bar. I agree with you, but the bar was so low with him. I mean, the fact he was able to pass a couple of balls.
He was
Am I too loud, guys? Is it feel like it's really loud?
No. All right to me, but
you maybe. I don't know if you're trolling or not. I don't know.
I was going to say
I have got a new mic. That's probably why.
I was going to say if you mention Paul, he's on his phone, so. If the laptop was working, the Dyer picture, the Jednak picture would be up.
Dyer go,
Oh yeah, it's probably because I've got a new mic. That's why. That's probably why it is. It's a new Yeti mic.
Trolls.
No, that's cool. Guys in the chat, guys, come on, smash the likes up. Let's get that over to 50 likes. 6 of you there. Smash the like button. Big up, Robbie. How you doing, mate? Welcome on the channel. How are you doing, mate?
Morning, lads. How are you?
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, mate. Good morning. Listen, it's all good. It's all good. Now, what are your thoughts on that front three and the team in general? Listen, I said there's not much to talk about because it's boring at the moment. Yeah. International break sucks, but listen, let's delve into it. We're talking about the front three, talking about the team in general. Are you excited what you're seeing at the moment with this team, do you think if you compare it to last season? What are the big differences from last season that you're seeing? Not necessarily just a style of play.
I think one of the differences that I am seeing is the togetherness in the team. And I know some of the celebrations the team do together sometimes are a little bit cringy, but we didn't really get that last season. I think you look at, when the team was celebrating them before they started games, it was just sort of a huddle. And I don't know if that's more Conte's workhorse mentality and they just pat each other on the back, but I like the fact at the beginning of this season, players run over to the fans and clap them before games start. And we're seeing, the team thrive and perform and, actually get on with each other. And it's great to see. I think we're playing really well. I think at the beginning of last season, we were winning games, but we weren't performing. I think we're performing this season. There's going to be some heavy defeats, I think, with the way that we play. But I think it's all about transitioning this season. And I think
Agreed. I agree.
Any achievement we get, whether it be like a top 4 European place, for me is a bonus. It's all about just getting and instilling that way of playing into the team. The front three, look, I think we needed to sign a striker. I think will Sonny will produce those numbers all season long. I'm not sure as a striker. He's naturally a left winger. Kulu, I've been quite unsure on Kulu at the beginning of last season or the whole of last season and the beginning of this season. Richarlison, I don't think is good enough. So I think we needed to sign a striker with that front three. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah, no, listen, I agree. And Alex, welcome on. You wanted to have your piece. I've given you the platform to unleash, as you like to say. Alex, welcome to the channel. How you doing, mate? Let me know. Is it something I've said, or is it just something in general? Tell me. Let me know. I love it. Go. Do your thing.
Well, if you, I formally introduce myself. Everybody knows I'm Mr. Box Office, the main event, Professor of Truth and Entertainment, and the former ratings killer. And if you don't know, get to know. Yeah. Now, let's get straight into it. Let's break it down for you right now. We're talking about Harry Kane. What did Mr. Box Office say a year ago and a couple of years ago about this guy? I said he was a loser. Yeah, everyone was saying that. Oh, why am I talking about Harry Kane as a loser? Well, because he doesn't win no trophies. Oh, but he's won everything. He's one of our own. He's one of our own. I said, well, he don't care, bruv. He wants trophies, bruv. Yeah. 2 years later, yeah, when he was rumours going around, he wants to leave. Bayern Munich are flirting with him and everything else. I said, Kane, put a transfer request in, bruv. We all know you want to leave. Do the man thing or do it. Oh, no, we can't do it because we love it. He can't disrespect the fans. You can't disrespect the fans. And now look what happens. Now he's saying what he's saying right now. See? That's what happens when you don't listen to Mr. Box Office, the main event, the Professor of Truth and Entertainment, bruv, yeah? Yeah? Because when I see Soren looking like a glum ham roll, yeah? Yeah, right. You don't need to say anymore, and that's it, bruv. You know what I mean? Because it's what that is, because it sits the truth, and that's it, and that's all I'm saying. That's it, yeah. You know what I mean? And that's all I need. I'm saying I'm done. Back to you, Perchy. I'm done. If you don't know, get to know.
I love the fact it takes him 10 minutes to say something for about 3 seconds worth of talking.
Hang on. Perchy's left. You've upset him, Alex.
Hey, let's go.
Let's go. I will just say, was you actually peeking? Because I've just literally finished eating a ham sandwich as well.
Sorry, apologies. Alex went on a rant so much that it absolutely booted me out of the system just then. Alex, mate, listen, we're here for a calm day. We're playing some good football. Why are we getting? There's no need to be angry, right? Things are good at Tottenham, right? We're winning it all, mate. We're winning it all.
I'm so fed up of hearing about Ange. I'm so fed up of it now. What? I'm so bored of it now. Honestly, it's just so boring. It's just nauseating. The guy's only been here 5 minutes, and everyone is going over the top. It is so nauseating. You know what I mean? It's just there's some Spurs fans who actually just want to see long-term success and actually short-term success. It's like it's only taken 5 minutes. It don't take a long time to get Spurs fans on side, by the way, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Yes, we're playing great football, but it's like
you're the one that said we played great football.
He's never seen good football in your life. You know what I mean? It's
like, honestly, not Tottenham for a very long time. We haven't. No.
It's like, I want to see any. Postecoglou's the best thing since sliced bread. I'm like, bruv, he's only been in 5 minutes. And the thing is, though, the thing fascinating about it, he's saying it himself. He's saying it himself. You know what I mean?
What?
He's saying, why is everyone going over the top for? He said it
Yeah.
quote wise. He said it already.
Yeah.
So
I
like,
don't
if
get
I'm
your
saying,
point.
if he's saying it, and I'm now saying it as well, what does that make me, bro? You know what I mean?
Because you're a man that sat there and watched Antonio Conte bore the house down and went week in, week out to some of the worst football I've ever seen at this football club.
Yeah, but bruv, I was
And
talking about that already, bruv. I was quoting it already. You know
and
what I
my
mean?
point,
I wasn't. I'm not the
but my
flip
point
flop.
being is we've got a massive U-turn. So
Yeah,
Spurs
but
fans are going to be excited. We're playing some of the best stuff in the league under Postecoglou.
yeah, I agree with you. But it's long term. It's long term. I actually think we're gonna actually get a draw out of Arsenal. Oh, that's a big one, isn't it? Mr. Box Office saying something. You know what I mean? I think we get a draw out of Arsenal.
Yeah.
Well,
Because I think we'll go at Arsenal every single time.
Saying in that, I think we're going to get a win against Arsenal.
Yeah.
There.
James Flower, bruv. Yeah, I know what you said on Tottenham on tour, bruv. If you want to have round 2, round 3, bruv,
James, you're welcome on, mate.
every
Let me
single
know.
day,
You're
bruv.
welcome on. James,
You're all day, every single day, bruv.
Alex,
I'll reach you to pieces like I do every single time, bruv. Because if you, like I said, the strap line.
Alex,
If you don't know, get to know. That's it.
The thing is, though, and I'm not having a personal attack on you because I agree with a lot that you say, and I think you come out with a lot of good comments. But when you put enough negativity out, it's very easy to go back and say, I told you, because some of it is going to come true. Now, yes, you did, you've been going on about Ange, and you need for it to be proved, and you need for him to start losing games so we can back him, and then you'll agree that he's a good manager. But the difference is that last year when we were on the same side a lot of the time, arguing about Conte and how poor it was. And I'm pretty sure you said on one of the streams that all you want to see is entertaining football come back to the lane.
Bang on, Soren.
Now, we've got entertaining football and you're still not happy. I don't get some of the, I get that you're still wanting to be proven and it's early days and you're spot on with that. Some of us are getting carried away because we're starting to enjoy the football. Now, I've got a lot of friends that go to every single home match, most of the away matches, and the negativity from them, they were so down last year, a bit like yourself, who just got totally fed up. And then all of a sudden this year, even they are like, do you know what? We're actually looking forward to going to the games again. Well, why can't we have our 5 minutes of happiness with a manager that suddenly brought some respect back to the club, some entertainment, some positivity to the club, instead of just sitting here and saying, yeah, well, it's only been a few games. Well, why are we getting behind him? Because we want to get behind him. We need to get behind him. We want the club to succeed. And we're not talking about the big issue that I know a lot of you go on about.
Do you know what it is? Is you make a really, really good point, sir. And I don't think many people are going over the top. I think people are more in the relieved state where they're going, do you know what? It feels like we can actually enjoy watching Tottenham again. Listen, I'll speak for myself on this and you guys can all jump in on this. Last season, I barely watched us. I had it on the TV, but I was doing other stuff or I was streaming and just chatting about. I hardly sat and watched us. When we played Brentford, it was the first Tottenham game in nearly 2 years. I sat and watched from minute 1 to minute 90. And I stand by that. It was the first time I sat and went, do you know what? I love everything we're doing right now. Yeah, we didn't win. I was down the pub having a good time watching us play football. I enjoyed every minute of it, right? That's the difference, right? This is the bit, Alex, you're talking about. The point where you're going on about is that people going, oh, we're going to win the league. No, I don't think anyone here is saying that. Yeah.
No, I think the big difference is that I've come out and said we're going to win the league, but you kind of say it tongue in cheek. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you believe. And every match that we keep going and we keep winning, you get a little bit more bolder and you say, God, the league's ours, the league's ours. You know it's not. There isn't a Tottenham fan out there that actually believes 100% we've won the league. We're all but we fantasize about it. We hope we're gonna do it. We think we can do it until the point about halfway through the season when we know we can't do it anymore. But let us have that little bit of foresight,
excitement. It's just excitement, is it? Like, listen, but I get excited now for the next game. That's why I can't stand this international break. Yeah, because I'm actually getting excited for our next game. Alex, I think this is the bit that you miss because you If I go, oh, do you know what? I love watching Tottenham play and I'm excited and I think we're going to go really far with Postecoglou. You take that as me saying I'm delusional because you think because I'm actually excited about what we're doing right now. Listen, there are a lot of problems still at Tottenham. A lot. We can all agree on that. There's so many problems. But some of us want to just grab onto the glimmer of hope that actually under this manager, we could go somewhere. Some of us are further down the line than others. I think I'm quite balanced with it. I love the way we play football. I think the signings we made have been brilliant. I think we bought the right sort of players for the system. I think the biggest issue we've had, though, is getting rid of players. That's been our key issue. We've a lot of players away from that, like from getting there. But this isn't something that's going to happen at a click of a finger. This might take 2-3 years to get done. And you mentioned it before. If the manager doesn't stay at the end of the season, then there's a bigger problem at the football club, right? The manager has to stay here.
Yeah, but
Brian, big up to Brian. Big up to Brian. He's in the chat and he said what his achievement for this season would be to have a manager last from game 1 to game 38. Yeah. And I fully agree with him on that.
It'd be a bonus, wouldn't it?
Yeah, this is the point I'm making, though. This is the point I'm making, and this is the thing. Yeah, I hear what people say, but it's I go on shows and they'll say, "Well, you're not logical. You're not logical." I have a conversations with Kuva, but big up my boy Kuva, and another guy that I big up. Yeah, and I think he's very good. It's Asmatic. I've had long conversations with him every single time. Yeah, right. And the reason why I might lead to what they believe, yeah, is because I don't go and say, "Oh, you're negative, Alex. You're not logical, Alex," or Mr. Box Office. Yeah, they don't do that. They say, "Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, because I know what you're like. I get what you're coming from, but I get where they're coming from as well because they don't come. They come with the context of what they're saying. Yeah. I get where you're saying because I hear, yeah, that even though we might not be, I still think we'll finish 8th or 6th at best, maybe if we have a good season. Yeah, but at least we're still seeing some good football. Enjoy the ride. Yeah, I ain't gonna go over the top. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, because it's a build and that's it. But there's still structures in place because I'm told that we've changed the structure now, so we're going to get the class of '92 youngsters in our team, which is a load of nonsense because the class of '92 had a structure in place where they had a guy called Harrison who was like a father figure to like Gary Neville, Beckham, Phil Neville, you know, Nicky Butt, and that's why they were brought up. We haven't got that structure at the moment. We've got this Simon Davis.
But we don't know if he's good enough or not. At the moment. The cogs are starting to happen with that. Listen, that's something I agree with you on it. I agree. We haven't had that, but we're not. That's another thing that's not going to happen overnight. That could take nearly a decade to get fully working.
Because that's what Brighton didn't take 5 minutes to do what their system was. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
This is something.
That's my point.
This is something where Mr. Box Office is working on to give story time with Mr. Box Office on his channel, Mr. Box Office TV, because it's changing now right now. Because when I hear people, content creators, saying there's nothing to talk about, there's a lot to talk about. Because this is the best time for creative content creators. The best time, creative time. That's what it's called. You know what I mean? And that's what Mr. Box Office is, creative, and that's it. But the point I'm making is going back on the point. Yeah, right. Is that you know, like I said, it's like we haven't got the structure in place, and I don't think Paratigi's got a clue what to say. Yeah, because the fact is that Juventus, he wasn't the main man at Juventus, bruv. He wasn't the main man. Yeah, it was Marotta who's the main man, and that's why they were successful at Juventus. And when Marotta left, it fell like a stone, and that's it. You know what I mean? So I might have belief in Scott Munn, and I'll tell you right now, yeah, I'll believe a little bit when on the 19th. On the 19th, yeah, I don't even know why no one's spoken about this right now. It's on my feed, yeah, right. That we're gonna have a fans forum with Postecoglou, Heung-min Son, and your man Daniel Levy. Now, wonder why that's happening right now.
That was going to be the next segment into the show.
Right now, bruv. Tell me why that's happening. Because that did not come from Daniel Levy.
Alex, can I ask you one question? Why
sorry
can
if
you
I gave you a spoiler alert out the way.
You didn't.
I do apologise, but I'm just saying. That's it.
Alex, can I ask you one question? Why is it that you can believe in Scott Munn, who hasn't even started properly for the club yet, but you can't believe in Andrew, who's already at the club?
No. I didn't say that.
I did.
No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that. Soren. I didn't say that.
You said he needs to prove himself.
No. I didn't say no. I didn't say that. I said right. I've said quite clearly right on the 19th. Right, we're going to have Daniel Levy with Postecoglou.
I'm not talking about that.
Alex, we were talking about the bit when you said what you believe in Scott Munn when he joins, but the hypocrisy, which I think Soren's trying to point out on this, is you've said very publicly that Postecoglou has to prove it to you before anything. So surely Scott Munn has to prove it to you before he does anything,
I've said the whole club needs to prove it to me. I'm not saying just
you've
Postecoglou.
said you believe in Scott Munn and he hasn't even started for the club yet.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't say that. No,
you did.
You misrepresenting what I said. No, you misrepresenting what I said. Yeah, right.
So I've got an easier job believing in Ange Postecoglou because I've been watching him 20 years. I've seen over 100 or 200 of his games. I've seen him do it everywhere, and the speed at which he's turned us around, despite the crap show over the summer that he had to deal with, that gives me hope. Right now, it's only 4 games, but right now we're the best team in England. So I believe we are going to be in a title chase this year. I wouldn't even rule out winning the league this year, because unless Man City get 6 points ahead of us, they're losing. But next year, we're going to win the bloody thing, because I've just seen it before. I've experienced it, man. So you'll get there, Alex. I hope you do. I hope we win the league and he wins you over, man.
But listen, I say this.
If we win the league, Alex will be complaining about the points score.
No. I'm going to say this just to make it clear, right? I'm not saying Postecoglou needs to prove himself. You've heard me before, Soren, so I don't know what you're chatting about. Rubbish. My point is, right? Is that the club need to prove to me this is going to be long term when they back Postecoglou. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I agree. That's clearly.
Everyone agrees with you
on every stream of Perchies, and that's it. Yeah, and it's been on streams how many times? I've said it on my channel as well. Don't change what I've just said, and that's it. Yeah, I'm not going to change my mind on that, and that's it. Back to you, Perchy. I'm done.
But Alex, sorry, but no one here disagrees with you on that. I think collectively we all agree if the manager gets sacked this year, because if the manager gets sacked this year, we're all in agreement saying that the owners are the problem. We already know that they're the biggest issue at this football club. But you can't use a point that we all have agreed with you collectively all the time as a point to prove. You haven't proved a point now. We all agree with you on that point. That's what Soren's trying to say, right?
The thing is, though, we say
and welcome, James, by the way.
If we sack Postecoglou this season, there'll be a reason for sacking him. If all of a sudden we don't win another match now till after Christmas and the dressing room's gone and everything, then you've got to sack him. You can't stand by him because all of a sudden it's not work. But I tell you now, he will not be sacked this season.
Of course he won't be.
No, there isn't a chance now. I mean, the question to Alex is, and look, the one thing I will say, Alex, is when you calm down and you become more methodical, you actually talk so much sense. And it's when you get your ranty side on that, you suddenly start saying a couple of things that I don't think sometimes you know what you've said. But one question to you, if we keep on with the form that we're doing and we keep winning, how long is it going to take you to actually get behind Ange Postecoglou?
He is behind. He is.
Listen,
I got wind at games. He's going crazy at games. He's loving it.
I think
when are you going to sit back and say, right, yeah, this is the guy for us?
The chicken and egg moment when we have a bad run and they.
Well, if we don't have a bad run, then so you're going to keep saying he's not right for us. Yeah. Let's just hypothetically say, and this is beyond.
So angry. I love it.
If we went on and won the league this season, are you going to wait till next season before you say, right? Well,
no, because that's a different matter. That's a different matter because we won the league, haven't we?
All right, then if we come third and we've
we've lost the league by 8 points or something like that.
Yeah, and we've
got to a semi-final or something.
We drop a point here and we drop a point there and we lose again. How long before you actually turn around and say, do you know what? He is the right guy for us.
Yeah, I'll say well done. Well done, we got third. But still, there is still going to be a downturn. So that's when... Because look at Manchester United. Look at Manchester United, for instance. Look at Manchester United. They had a great season last season. Look at them now. You know what I mean? Because they haven't got back. They've got bad owners at the moment.
Alex.
So
it's 4 games.
You can specifically have that argument. You can have specifically that argument with Tottenham Hotspur at the moment because the correlation at the moment with Daniel Levy and what's going on the pitch isn't. We don't know whether that's actually coming together yet. You know what I mean? So at the moment, we can quite easily do really well. We are playing very well. I've said it clearly every single time. We are playing the best football since Poch, maybe even better. We are. Yeah, I've praised a lot of players like Maddison, for instance, Basuma. Basuma, I've said it was my main midfielder. People laughed at me, but look who's right now. You know what I mean?
Everyone's saying about Basuma.
No taxi, Mr. Box Office, bruv. No, sorry. No taxi for you, Mr. Box Office. He's staying here. The main event stays in, and that's it. It will stick, and that's
technically he doesn't. I have power.
The point is, because I got rudely interrupted. My point is, right, is that as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, these players are going through a good moment at the moment, but I've seen this before. Yeah, it's about how we're gonna go when things are not going right. Is Song gonna still be the captain of the ship when it's going wrong? We don't know. Is Maddison still gonna have a happy face when it's not going wrong? You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying at the moment. Okay? And I say the same thing that Brian says. If he had, it'd be an achievement if he stays the first 12 months, the first season. Yeah.
Can I say
further? If he stays the next 18 months, it's an achievement as well because you don't know whether he's staying the next 18 months as well. And that's it.
That does not make him the right or the wrong manager for us, though. If he's showing that he can do it with our football club, that makes him a manager. It doesn't matter whether Daniel Levy gets on with him or not. If Ange Postecoglou has turned things around, which he has, and he's starting to show improvements in our club, which he has, and he's starting to get our team winning, which he has, playing football that is entertaining, which he has, that means he is doing his job correctly. Doesn't matter whether he lasts a year or not.
Exactly.
He's doing the job correctly.
Yeah, but it's Soren, he's doing his job now. That's cool. But I'm talking about the long term. That's what I'm talking about.
Alex,
that's cool.
Guys.
Like I said before, I said in my video again, it's great how you start, but it's how you finish, bro.
Yeah, but Alex,
Alex. Sorry, let me.
He will keep his job. Full stop. There isn't.
Alex, I'm going to ask you a simple question. Genuinely, it's a simple question here. I don't want the sort of long spiel. I just want a quick answer because I want to move on quietly for this, but. I feel at the moment you're in a state where you're going, you want the manager to prove to you when we do a bad. And listen, that's fair enough. You have every right to think that. But surely you get to that position when we get to that position. But at the moment, he's doing everything you asked for a manager last season. I was on streams with you and you said, we need to get back. We can't be playing the way we are with Conte. We need to get back to playing good football at Tottenham. And start achieving from that. The manager is doing everything you asked for. Me, you, Sava, we were all on streams last season going, we want good football. Coover as well, he was on as well. We want to play good football. We can't play like this. It is null and boring to watch. They were your words. You wanted this football. You've got this football. I feel like now you're at a stage where listen, by the way, nothing against you. Much love to you, mate. Like, you're a top guy, chat to you all the time on and off stream. What I will say is you're very burnt by this football club. A lot of us have been. But you're at a stage where you're so resentful of the football club that you feel like you know what's going to happen before it happens. So you've got your guard up. Listen, what I would suggest to you on this point, drop it for now. Enjoy what we're at. Enjoy the moment, bro. Enjoy the moment. And
can I add something?
Of course you can. I was about to invite you into the conversation then.
James. Before you start, I want an update. How's the fishing going?
Yeah, good.
Have you had a £15 cap when I commented?
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, I had a 23.
Nice.
I had a 6/10.
Nice. Big?
Yeah, a couple of reams, and then just a few small carp. So yeah, not too bad.
Tench were always my favourite fish.
Yeah, good fight.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Mr. Box Office.
Sorry.
I agree with you, mate, but I think that you're aiming all this hate at the wrong person. You're aiming all of this at Ange when Ange has done nothing wrong. All of your comments are all about Daniel Levy. Not one of them is to do with Ange. Last season, you were saying, I want Poch back because I want my Spurs way. This isn't the Spurs way. You've got it. Now, everything you're saying is true, and I agree with everything you've said, everything. But that hate needs to be aimed at Daniel Levy. It's not Ange's fault if he doesn't make the rest of the season because he started off on the right foot. He's got us playing the right way. If someone gets injured and then, say, for example, Romero or Van der Ven get injured or both, it's not going to be his fault that the results go downhill. That's the board. So I agree with what you're saying, but how can you hate on Ange when he's given us everything that we want? We see what we can do. It's a build. People saying, like you said there, if we finish 8th or 6th, it's a good season. For me, I said top half of the table is a good season. I just want to see us start building. You can't start a build and then start demanding, oh, I want top 4 now. Oh, no, now we should be top 6. Oh, no, with this squad, it's the same squad of before when we had pre-season. It still needs to be the same. For me, I'll be happy with top 10 and to see this football for the rest of the season. Everything you've said, I agree with, but you're blaming the wrong man. It's like going into the shop and saying, well, these crisps are stale. You need to go to the people that make the crisps, not the shopkeeper. He don't know, does he? So what you're saying is correct, but you're kind of shouting and screaming about one person that's probably on our side and doing the things that we want him to do.
Agreed. Bang on, James. Bang on that one.
I don't think I've shouted at Ange. I don't think I've shouted at Ange at all.
You said he needs to.
You come on yesterday and started saying all this Ange loving.
You just said it just now.
I said specifically, I'm fed up reading about Ange at the moment because at the moment,
why? He's our manager.
There's not having a go at Ange. It's just saying I'm fed up with us going over the top about Ange at the moment because at the moment. He needs to maybe convince me in terms of whether he's going to be able to get.
So what can he do?
What I'm saying is, I didn't say that I'm blaming him. I'm not having a go at him. I'm not saying I'm not blaming him. Right. I'm just responding to James. Yeah. I'm not blaming him. Right. It's just that I was saying that I need to see long term. Is there correlation between him and the club going to be synergy? The whole season and the whole.
Well, that's nothing to do. That's nothing to do with him. That's nothing to do with him. I can't go into my boss and say I demand to be here for the next 3 years. Otherwise, I've failed. No, but you're saying they have to be. No, I am.
You're not understanding.
No.
But James, again, you don't understand me.
I've been following Ange for 20 years. Ange for 20 years, like I said, right? And I'm not having any problem at all with what Alex is saying. He's not saying Ange is no good or rubbish. He's just, keeping his cards close to his chest. Burnt before, wants to see how it goes. I don't know why you're getting a hard time, Alex. To be honest,
Paul, the thing is with it, it's not necessarily a case of Ange has got to prove himself because he's already proved himself. He's already proved that he can turn things around at the club. He's already shown that he's doing that. The thing that gets me is. And this is a go at quite a few people that come on streams and do things. We go on about the fans get overhyped and the club has no willingness to win things and all this lot. But yet, so many people last season, and Alex, you were one of them, were saying, "Oh, I want to finish 8th but win a cup." So that I want to finish 1st and win a cup.
Yeah.
So why are we happy to finish 8th and win a cup or do something? That's a lack of mentality of winning to me. That, if we win a cup, but it don't matter where we end up in the league. Well, what happens if Ange comes in and we finish 4th, we get to a cup final, but we lose it? Are we a failure again? No, we're not. It's about time. We looked at the club and said, and James was spot on. Everything that most people are coming out with is a Levy thing. It's not necessarily a player or a management thing, but can't we just for once, for God's sake, all just get behind the team? We've actually got a period of excitement and something good. It's not going to last. We know it's not going to last. It's Tottenham Hotspur. Now is the time to just sit back and enjoy what the hell we've got.
Enjoy the ride, right? Listen, we're going to. I think, Alex, this is okay. I'm going to ask a simple question. What does simple? I don't want the long-winded one. The simple answer. What does Ange have to do for you to go? Do you know what? I'm behind this guy, full 100%.
Well, I just want him, and it's not really just about Ange. It's a difficult.
But
the conversation is about Ange. The conversation is
about him, right?
Yeah, but it's difficult. It's difficult for me to say because Ange is doing everything.
No, it's not, because it's simple. Because a lot of people have different metrics on how they judge it. I wanted good football. He's giving me that, so I'm happy with the manager. Football.
No, I'm saying it's
but
no.
What's your metric?
I like the metric is that at the moment I want him and this club to be like as one at the moment. At the moment, I don't know if that is the case after how many months he's been here, right? So I need a long-term view on that, right? And that's what I'm saying. I'm enjoying the football. I can't answer that question, Perchy. I can't.
Alex,
because I've got no context to that.
But Alex, isn't this the perfect opportunity for you to get behind Ange and say, "This is my manager. I'm going to back you." And if Levy gets rid of him, it's even more ammo against Levy.
Bang on the money.
Yeah, but this is the thing. This is the thing. This is the difference between you and Kuva and Asthmatic, right? They give me more context to what they're saying. You see, when I hear Paul, Paul summed it up perfectly for me, He ain't judging me because he's been loving Ange for how long, But he's just summed it up perfectly, He says, well, I understand where he's coming from a little bit. You get what I'm saying? And this is the same attitude I get from Kuva and Asthmatic. Yeah. When I hear James talking to me, when I hear James and Jay, that's on Time Added On, who keeps on telling me I'm negative when I'm talking more sense than him most of the time.
No, you're the most positive guy on the street,
he says to me what he says to me. He's dragging me to my point even further down the line because it's just making me even more thinking, you know what, Bob, I can't even bother listening to you anymore. You get what I'm saying? So
Alex,
that's the way I feel at the moment.
Okay.
Things I could come on board with you, but the thing is though, I've heard most of your stuff before. Can you what Kuva says and what Asthmatic say, I wish they were on to say what they said, but they make me feel a little bit. Oh yeah, I can come to your point, and that's it, and that's what I'm saying.
But Alex, like what we've said, we all agree with you, mate. But there's been one common denominator in everything that you've said is it's the same owner. It's the same owner. So you're saying about Ange coming together with Levy. How is that fair to put that on Ange? Ange in this season has brought us, and look where he was the end of last season. Look where we are now as a club, as a fan base. It's the loudest that this new stadium's ever been. And it does feel like there's a good vibe. So for me, that has to go down to Ange. Ange is spreading that positivity. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, the likes of Maddison and players like that coming in, they do help. And what you're saying, I agree with. I do agree with you. Everything that you're saying, I agree, mate. But I would point all of that at Levy. None of that goes down to Ange.
This is the point, though, Turchi. Sorry to interrupt you, but this is the point. When Mia makes that silly point
let me read it out. No, Mia's kindly put £5 into the kitty of the PV funds. So let me read it out, and then you can respond. You're welcome to respond. How can you judge Man United on 4 games, but won't judge us on 4 games as being good? Make it make sense, Alex. Love that we will play Anfield no matter what. Now I'll let you answer to Mia. Thank you, Mia, for the super chat. By the way,
I didn't judge Manchester United. I said they're not playing well at the moment. That's what I said. So I don't know why you're saying judging them at the moment. I said, well, they're not doing well at the moment. So I don't know why you're talking about that. You're just taking one little sentence. You're taking one little sentence again. It's again context again. Yeah, it's like you're taking one little sentence I've just said, and you're just making it a big thing. You see what I'm saying?
I think, Alex, I think she said that because last season.
Let me finish. My point is that I'm saying that I need a long-term view on this, and that's what I'm saying, because I need to see whether this is going to be synergy for the long term, and that's what I'm saying. Because I've seen it before and I've seen it again. What you said, Perchy, summed it up perfectly. I've got burnt so many times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fine.
We all have.
But the point that's not on the manager. That's
but I'm not blaming the manager. Again, it's coming back on the manager. That's not my job. That's not my job. My job
No,
is
but why?
to
No, but
see
why are
what's
you
going
having to
on.
wait? No, but why are you
Yeah.
having to wait till the end of the season then to judge him if it's not on the manager?
Oh, okay. Again, this is the point.
Alex.
This is again. We're going around in circles again, James.
No,
Alex,
answer me
we're
that
going
one
round in
question. No,
circles
no,
again.
wait, Soren.
You got-
Answer me that question. Answer me that one question. If you have to wait till the end of the season to see if he's still in a job for him to be proven that he's a good manager, why are you holding out on the manager? The manager has no say unless he gets up and walks out of his job and quits his job.
Yeah.
Why is that on the manager?
I'm not saying it's on the manager. I said it's got to be a
You-
synergy between the manager and the club at the moment.
Alex,
I don't understand what we're going on about.
Right,
I don't
Alex,
understand what
You
you're not
just said it was down. You just said literally 10 seconds ago that it's down to the manager and building everyone together. And I've just asked you.
I've said it's synergy. Maybe I've not said it correctly. My point is,
Okay.
it needs to be a synergy between the manager and the thing. I mean, I've given up now. To be
Now,
honest,
Alex, I've got a question for you.
We're
Then,
just going round in
so
circles.
if we're talking about longevity for the manager, the most successful period of Chelsea's tenure was managers that only lasted a year or 18
Agreed.
months. So if Ange only lasts 18 months but he wins us something, doesn't that make him successful?
Sorry.
You're saying that the only way Ange is going to be successful and will gel and you'll get behind him is if he's here long term, yeah? Now, the most successful period in Chelsea's history has been under a tenure of Roman Abramovich, whose managers only generally lasted 1 year or 18 months. And then they went, but they were successful. Every manager that came in, a year, 18, doesn't matter how good they were, doesn't matter what they was winning, they were going. Well, why does Ange need to be here a long time for you to get behind the system to say it's successful? Now, he could be here, say he's here till the end of the season, and then he's gone. Does that make him unsuccessful if he's actually won something, though? Or if we finish top 3 or top 4, if there's been suddenly an explosion between them? It's not Ange's fault necessarily that he's gone. That, you know, it could be, I don't know, maybe he goes in and slaps Daniel Levy around the face and says, get some credibility behind the club, and then he's got to go. Doesn't mean he's not a good football manager.
I think it's just going to be one of these occasions where I've just given up because, like I said before, I've had this conversation with Asmatic and Kuva, and I think even Paul's got it. Paul's hit the nail on the head. Hit the nail on the head. What you just said. Yeah, it's nothing against the manager. You get what I'm saying? But I think because people just got this whole thing about this is what Tottenham fans' problem is that they have to say you've got to back the manager. We've got to back the manager.
No one said that.
It's not about.
No one said
that.
It's not about.
No one said that.
No one said that.
I think this is the point, and that's it. So I kind of have to just let it go now because it's just not going to resonate with people. You know what I mean?
Can I explain why?
You're not answering the question.
Summed up her point with a super chat. I'm not having a go.
Let Robbie jump in. Robbie hasn't spoken.
But the point is, she does not get it. You get what I'm saying? People are just not getting it, and that's why I say when I have a conversation with Versmatic and Kuva, and I think what is it? Perch is getting it, and Paul's got it already, right? I give up, and that's it. That's all we'll leave.
Can I explain Let me explain why I like what I'm enjoying and why I'm happy from what I'm seeing. My expectations ain't good football, and they ain't winning stuff. They're everything. I want to win and play good football.
Yeah.
That's where my standards are. But after going through what we've gone through for the last 3 years, and now seeing a bit of fresh air, I tend to just try and live my life on the positive side. And if I've seen good, I'm going to say that I've seen good. I'm not going to make up bad when I've only seen good. And I'm not saying that it's not going to end in tears, because it may do. But for now, it's good. So why would I not be happy and talking about the good things rather than try to find something bad? Or what if he gets fired? What if this doesn't work out? What if we lose the cup final?
Anyway,
what if we do that? I would rather live my life in the positive and have a laugh and come on these and speak to everybody and have a real good feel factor than come on and go, nah, this is all crap. It's all going to end in tears. And it's just not a very nice situation to be in. I'd rather live my life as a happy person than a negative person.
Listen, I want to sort of slightly move it on because I feel like we've just sort of talked this to death at the moment. Robbie, I feel bad. You haven't spoken about it. I'll let you jump in and get your say because I feel like you've been trying to speak for the last 20 minutes.
No worries.
Jump in, my friend.
I was just going to say, I'll get what Alex is saying. We've seen this before with managers. You know, we've seen it before with managers. We've seen it before with with Conte and other managers when they've come in, and we've been very excited. And I understand why you're sceptical. You know, we're 4 games into the season. I'm loving, you know, what Andy's doing so far at Tottenham. I think he's got the team playing really good football. I think he's brought positivity back to the club. But I understand where Alex is coming from, saying that we can't get ahead of ourselves. We're 4 games into the season. I don't think you're criticising Ange, Alex. You're more criticising the fact that, like, people are getting unbelievably excited. And I do understand that. I think, you know, we have a right to get excited about our football club. But at the same time, I think, you know, we've seen it before with managers where it's early in the season, we've got so excited about what they're doing, and then it's all crumbled towards the end. And I understand, Alex, why you're sceptical. We're only what, 4 games into the season, and yes, Andrew's done brilliantly in the league. We've already seen him make, you know, a big mistake in that Carabao Cup game. He rested the A team.
Massively critical of that. I was massively critical of that.
Knocked us out of one of our chances to win a trophy. For me, I don't think we need success this season. I want it, but I think it's more about rebuilding. But I do understand why you're sceptical, because we're only 4 games into the season and he's already made a big mistake.
Yeah, no, it's a valid point, Robbie. You make a great point, and I want to get people's opinions on this. What would you consider this season to be a success? I use the word successful. I don't mean it like that. What would be a very good season for us this season? I'll stand by mine. I said, me and James, I think me and you are very similar in the same thought process. I don't care where we finish this season. As long as it's not relegated, I always put that in the caveat. We're not going to, but I always put that as the caveat. But I want to see this squad developing. Players leaving in January. I still want players out in January. Maybe a couple more in January. Oh, Alex is gone. I want to get his thoughts on it. But my point being is that for me, I'm at that situation. Listen, I'm not putting these overly incredible expectations out. For me, I just want to see how we're doing. Next season, though, is the one where I start going, now we have to start doing something. Yeah. You can't this is the first season, because bear in mind, we've got still so many players on the books that we want to get rid of, right? Mark, I haven't spoken about it. What about you? Are you sort of similar sort of thought of theory as that?
Yeah. Look, we're finally playing some decent football. You know, the sort of football that I grew up watching. You know, attack.
Yeah.
Our defense was always rubbish, even back when I was a kid. You know, we had no defense when I was a kid, but we had Hoddle. You know, we had Hoddle just pulling the strings, and Crooks and Archibald banging them in. But like this season, if we finish, I believe we'll get a European spot. UEFA Cup.
Yeah.
UEFA Cup. All right, and he messed up. He messed up in the League Cup. But who's to say we can't win the FA Cup? A favourable draw. You know, I mean, everyone gets a bit of luck in the draw. I mean, it's about time we had some home ties, isn't it? Because the FA Cup,
feels like we haven't played a home game in ages.
No, it's always been away, isn't it? You know,
yeah, we played 3 away games back to back.
I mean, at my flipping age, like you know, just a cup, just anything, just anything. Like
no,
you know.
I agree, Mark. Sorry, I'm confused just a second. Yeah. Big up Tigari for the super chat. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. But today is a gift. This is why it's called the present. Let's just enjoy the moment. Hashtag hope is good. Love that, Tigara. Listen, the Aussies are taking over. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah. Sorry. Apologies. Yeah. So I'll let you jump in now. And what your thank you, obviously, Tigara, for the super chat, of course. What are your expectations this season?
Look, my expectations are probably different to a lot of people's for a simple reason. This year so far, I've lost my father. I've lost my father-in-law. I've lost a friend.
Sorry to hear, mate.
No. Look, but when you get to my age, it brings in a realization that tomorrow might not come.
Yeah.
We have to do things for now. And where Alex says, you know, people like me are too positive sometimes and we get overhyped because we get to a stage where you start thinking, I might never see us win another trophy. I might never see us lift a Premiership. I might never see us lift a European Cup. So when we start seeing good football at Tottenham, we've got to get excited because it might be the last time we see them. And you've got to understand that where I look at it and think, right, we've got a game tomorrow. I know we haven't got a game tomorrow, but we've got a game tomorrow. I'm excited about it. We've got a game next week. I'm excited about it. I want to see us win. I'm actually seeing football that, like Sheriff just said, back to Hoddle days, back to Ozzy and Ricky Villa days. Excitement where you just don't know what's going to happen on the pitch. You don't know whether we're going to come out and win 5-1 or lose 6-0. You've just got to accept game by game. Now, where do I see us? Success to me is I want to see us in Europe again. I want that top finish for the simple reason I want Bayern Munich to come to the lane and Harry Kane to come to the lane and get knocked out next year. That's what I want to see. That's it. I want to finish top 4 every season. I don't want to finish outside the top 4 because I want to see our team playing the best players that there are. But I also want to see us win a cup. And I'm not prepared to finish out of the top 4 to win a cup. I want it all. I want to win top 4. I want to win a cup. Ange's made the biggest mistake of his career against Fulham the other week, where he and it was him, not Daniel Levy, like a lot of people want to lay the argument against. He picked the wrong team, made too many changes.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. That was on the manager. I agree.
Him as a manager shows his credentials because if he does the same next time, then he hasn't learned from his mistake. Mm-hmm. He has to learn from his mistakes and pick the strongest team. We've got one game a bloody week. We need to be picking our strongest team. If them players can't play one game a week, then they shouldn't be playing for our club. Now, success, top 4, and hopefully a very good run in the FA Cup, if not the final.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. Everyone's got their own different like metrics and stuff. Robbie, what about you, my friend?
For me, it's just about progress every single year. Look, last season.
What's considered progress for you? I think progress is a better word, actually. That's a good word to use. What's progress for you this season?
I think it's just, for me this season, if we can get back to playing exciting football, winning games, and getting a European place, that's an improvement on last season. Then I think you look at next season, maybe get the Champions League, have a good cup run. Then the season after, challenge for the league. I think if you go into rebuild, you've got to look at those sort of expectations as year in, year out, improving every single year. I want trophies as much as the next person. I've been deprived of, I haven't seen a trophy. I think one when we won the Carabao Cup, not even that. Not even that, a couple of months old. So I want to see trophies. But I think to get to that point, it's all about rebuilding after exactly what happened last season. I mean, they're a horrible example to give. But Arsenal, now, I think Arteta, I do think he's overrated, and I don't think he's really achieved much at that club. But you can see the progress year in, year out. They stuck with him in that first season. The next season they progressed. The next season they progressed. And now they're looking like they're going to challenge for the league every season. If we can get to that point as well and hopefully win the trophy, I'll be happy as a Spurs fan. I think playing the way we are, it's great to see. Like I say, I understand why fans are sceptical as well, because we've seen that Ange isn't invincible and can make a mistake like every other manager in that Fulham game. But at the same time, for me, it's all about progress year in, year out, and moving forward year in, year out. When, for me, if I were to question Ange, it would be, for me, if we finish in a European place this season, let's say 7th, but then finish 7th next season, for me, then it starts being, for me, you've got to hold him accountable to the same standards that you held Conte and Jose that been criticised for. You can't
that's fair.
Can I just say something against that, Robbie, though? Where's the improvement this year, then, if we finish in the same position as last year?
I think if we finish higher than 8th, that's improvement, because we finished 8th last season. I think 7th, 6th, that's improvement. And then
but we could finish 7th with the same points. So
I think moving higher in the table as well. It's not just that; it's the football we play. But for me, after time, if it gets to a point, like I say, where we're not improving and we're staying around the same place, then I'd start to question that. But at the minute, I'm just going to try and enjoy what we're doing. I think we can achieve more than we thought we would at the beginning of this season. And yeah, for me, it's just about moving up in the table year in, year out, and hopefully down the line winning a couple of cups. Will we? I don't know, but that's what it's about for me.
Before James, before I come to you, big up Chris, by the way. You're always in my chat. Big up to you, mate. Have you no ambition? The EFL is worthless. Ange was right. He didn't make a mistake. He'll not learn because he's the great manager, not either of you. No, I think the question is, for a football club that doesn't win anything and hasn't done since 2008, to go and kind of throw it away when we're playing one game a week, I was very, very critical of that. Big up Paul. Paul have said he's got network issues, so he had to jump off. But me and him had a big debate about this the other day. And we kind of argued this point. For me, this was an example this season where we could have gone, do you know what? We're not in Europe. We've got less and less games. We could only play 40 games this season. If we get knocked out of the third round of the FA Cup, we could only play 40 games this season. One of the least amount of games we played in a very, very long time. But
I understand what he's done. I said it on my channel. I understand why he's done
Alex?
it. Because he needs to look at players. He needs to look at players, right? And this is what Man City do and some of the top teams do. But they need to look at players beginning of the season to say, okay, can I put my hat on that guy? Can I put my hat on that guy to come in during the business end of the season? That's why he did it. That's why he did it.
Alex,
you play the same 11. You can play the same 11 because the main event is still speaking. If you don't know, get to know. Yeah, right. The point is, right, is that if it's the business end of the season, right? Okay, and once you get injuries to key players, you need that player to step up.
You get injuries.
But you need that player to step up, right? You need that player to step up. And he'll be all right in the system, and he understands.
I love when you
just crack on and
Alex,
what happened with Arsenal last season?
Sorry, 1 second. Don't worry, it's easy. Alex makes it so easy to debate because Alex, this is why I love debating with you because you leave an open goal. The goalkeeper's down and you let it happen because you'll be the same. Hang on, you'll be the same manager if we don't win anything. Going, he's 1-0, he's a loser. So
no, I didn't say that. No. Sorry. Let me just correct you on that. Yeah, because then we can go back to the expectations of what I expect this season.
Sure.
Yeah, I said 8th. eighth. So let's not get this. I have my expectations for Conte because Conte was a winner. I was told. Yeah, so we brought him to a winner. Mourinho was a winner. Yeah, so that's why I had that attitude of trophy. Yeah, we ain't got that right now. We're supposed to be rebuilding. So why are they talking about a goal then?
Alex, you're the biggest flip flop I've ever heard.
No, I'm not the biggest flip flop. No. By the way, when people say it's all about Mr. Box Office,
talking now.
When people say it's all about Mr. Box Office, this is the problem. Everyone comes at me in 2 seconds. Everybody comes at shooting at me every single time. You get what I'm saying? The point I'm making is, right?
One at a time.
I'm not the flip-flop. I am not the flip-flop.
You are. You flip-flop all the time, Alex.
It was Conte. Yeah, it was Conte. I said I wanted a trophy with Conte because that's what we were promised with Conte. Trophies. Yeah. We didn't get it. So I said, get him out the door. Yeah. Right now, I said 8th. And I didn't expect
we're going around in circles. So let's we're going around in circles. No, wait. No, wait. Listen.
Anyway, let's move on.
Stop being rude. Stop being rude because you're being fucking rude now. Don't be rude.
I'm not being rude, James. I'm not being rude.
No, you are being rude.
I'm talking around in circles. So I'm sorry.
No, was I talking to you? Was I talking to you then, or was I talking in general?
Moving on. Anyway,
you just went back to expectations. So why don't we cut this small talk nonsense and go back to the question in the first place?
Expectations. You said that I was talking about trophies. That's what I've said. So what are you talking
Alex,
about?
Man. Alex. Listen for 2 seconds, Alex. Listen. Yeah, are you listening? Are you listening?
Don't be patronising, James.
Yeah, no. I'm just making sure. I'm making sure.
Don't be patronising.
You was the person that just brought up. You're not listening.
Okay.
You was the person that
patronised me. I'm not going to listen. That's what I'm going to do.
One at a time. Let him speak and then answer it. Come on, man.
You just brought up about you expected us to win trophies because of Conte. You brought that up, not us. Yeah. And what I'm saying is we're all going around in circles. The question is, we went round nicely. What is your expectations for the season? So you kind of jumped the queue, changed the conversation and went back to what your expectations was. So why don't we just go back to what the expectation was? Perchy, my expectation, mate, this season is nothing. I have no expectations. I want to see the manager and the players now gain a bond, good football. This is for me. If we ever had one, this is the 1 year that I can say you've got no expectations. This is where you rebuild. Next season, I will have expectations. But I don't think it's fair when we've got to get out 10, 15, 20 players and bring in new and expect us to be finishing anywhere. I think that we need to just build a unity. And I think even what James Maddison is saying about how easy it is to come into Tottenham, how happy everything is, how good it is, that's a massive step in the right direction. So for me, my expectation is nothing. I just want to see good football and I just want to see my team back playing together as a team. But what I want, obviously I want to win the league. That's what I want. You have to separate the two. I want to win the league. I want to win the FA Cup. But my expectations, I think it's unfair for a guy that's never been in England to come in and start performing. I think you have to give him one season to get to know his players. And we'll only know, like what Alex says, we'll only know what he thinks of these players when we do go through a slump. When we do lose 3 or 4 games in a row and Son doesn't score in any of them, and then say, for example, Richarlison comes on and starts scoring, I think that will say a lot about the squad and the team. So you can't put expectations on a first season, in my opinion, or I'm not.
And by the way, I didn't jump the queue, by the way, so please don't patronise me again, please. Thank you very much.
No, you did.
Well, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. Thank you very much. And it came to me straight away, so I'm sorry. Just to correct you, by the way.
I didn't come for anybody, but I didn't come for anybody.
You jumped in and answered the comment. You jumped in and answered the comment.
I didn't. I'm not going to get into the conversation anyway.
Alex,
moving on. I'm done.
Alex, the thing is, though, you say about nobody patronising you, but you are one of the rudest people on these streams against other people.
No, I'm not rude. I'm not rude at all. Wow. Okay, we're not going to get into this conversation, Sean.
Look,
it's when people are coming at me. When you're coming at me, I'm going to defend myself. Oh no, because you're coming at me you're coming at me with the energy like that, Bob. Don't come at me like that, Bob. I'm not here to be spoken to like that.
No,
sorry.
Don't talk to us like that, then. But let me finish. And
Bob, I'm just going to come off because I don't want to hear people coming at me like that, Bob.
See, look, you've been rude.
Oh, I'm not being rude. You're coming at me like that energy. Don't need that energy.
Let me put my point across, and then you can answer the
one at a time.
Fine. So the reason I called you a flip-flop was because all the time you go on about finishing 8th or whatever and winning a trophy. The point has just come up that because I'm one of the people saying that Ange was in the wrong because he threw the chance to win a trophy away, and you're saying no, he was right to throw a trophy away because we want to see how 9 players can come in, not 1 or 2, to see if they can step up to the mark. 9. That is on the manager. Now, the reason you're a flip-flop on that is because you're quite happy for us to throw a trophy chance away, but then say we've got to win a trophy.
Yeah, you can't have it both ways. That was the debate, though. That was the debate.
That's not the point I made, though. That's the thing. It's again, you're not listening to me.
This is the point you made.
No, you're not made. No, but you're not listening to me at all. I said with Conte, that was a trophy. Right now with Postecoglou, it's a build. I said I didn't expect a trophy with him. Sorry. So I don't understand
Alex,
what you're saying. Flip-flop.
How
Alex,
can you go
one at a time?
You're not listening.
Hold on, Soren. Hold on, Soren. Hold on, Soren. Let's. Alex, can I ask you a question then? Alex, you still there?
Go on then.
What is your expectations for the season?
I just said it already. 8th.
That you're happy with 8th.
Fair enough.
That's what I said.
No FA Cup run or nothing like that. You're happy with 8th,
I said it's a build. I said a build, James. I said at the beginning. I've said it so many times. 8th.
No, I agree with you. And to be fair, Soren, he didn't say he was happy to go out of a cup either. He didn't actually say he was happy to go out of a cup. He said he understands why he did it. He didn't say he was happy to go out of the cup.
Yeah, right. Fair enough. I'll retract that bit.
No, that's fair. Listen, like people, and all, I just want to say, people in the chat, like, we're just grown adults having a debate. Like it's part of the fun.
You owe me for that one, Alex, for sticking up for you there. You owe me one.
No, listen, no, this is. It's not like this is a good. This isn't people having a go anyway. It's everyone having a debate, right? We're all having a debate, and it's like
we're passionate about our club. That's the thing. We're passionate about our club.
No, you're right, Alex. We're all passionate. We all see things differently. If all debates were quiet and went, yes, I agree, you wouldn't watch us. There wouldn't be 171 of you in the house watching us, but only 86 likes. Sorry, I'm giving you content on a Saturday morning. Come on, smash the likes up.
Can I add one thing? Can I add one thing about the Ange thing? And there's a reason why I watch a few people. So like on YouTube, I stick my circle quite small on the YouTube scene, and the reason for that is like what Alex was saying about everybody happy clapping about Ange. That's true, but also when we went out of that cup, the people that actually stood there and criticised him, I was also there criticising him, because you can't happy clap one thing and then when something bad goes wrong, and it is his fault, not criticise him. So what he was saying there is true in that respect. And if you are able to criticise Ange for that decision, then you are also able to then praise him for when he's doing things right. If you say that Ange is just fantastic, everything's good, and I don't know if Alex tried to come across like this, but he did by saying, "Oh no, Ange did that. That's okay for him to do that. Like throw the cup away by picking the other squad. That's not okay." But it's the way you have to be able to praise someone when they do something right, but also when they're doing something wrong, you need to be able to throw those guys to the dirt also. And that's why I am praising the good as well as the negatives. But I don't think he'll make that mistake again because of that.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I said earlier. That if he learns from what I class as a mistake, then that makes him a brilliant manager. Now, I mean, I wasn't one that was shouting for Ange. I didn't know really who he was. I wanted Nagelsmann.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
Postecoglou came in, and I didn't need to see him do it. I was straight behind him, and that's just me. That's just the way I work. Now, as a supporter of a football club who hasn't won anything, and Alex is one of the first to say this, he is critical over the fact we haven't won because of the way.
Rightly so. Rightly so.
Rightly so.
He is 100% right. But that is the first chance, and to go out at the first round in a whimper because we've made 9 changes and then come out and say, I needed to see how the players played. You don't need to see how 9 players play. You can do it over if you needed to see 9 players, why haven't you done it in the league? If you wanted to see how other players play, do it in the league. Because
again, I'm going to stick up for Alex here. Every environment is different, and going out into
that wasn't about Alex. That was me.
No. I'm just saying because obviously Alex brought it up. So this isn't as Alex, but I agree with what he's saying. There is you need to put Eric Dyer and people like that in a position where there is high pressure, because if they go out, they know what's coming. So I think the fact that I think what he did is he went to that team and said, "This is your chance." He's lit the fire and threw them on the edge. And what they all did is rather than stand there and put the fire out, they all jumped in it and said, "Oh, okay, yeah," and all jumped in. All of them were crap.
Yeah.
So the next morning, I think he went and saw Levy. Personally, my personal opinion, sat down and went, "What did you think of yesterday?" And then I think Levy would have been like, "That's a disgrace. Why have you got them out?" Blah blah. He would have gone, "Well, why are they in my squad in the first place?"
James, I don't agree with I would say, James, do you know what? No. Do you know what? I actually agree to a certain extent what James is saying, to a part of it. What I would say, the only positive that will come out of us getting knocked out of that cup is that the reason why the likes of Davinson Sanchez got sold. If that's the case, 100%. Then great news.
You've hit the nail on the head straight away.
Great news, because do you know what? Fine. If that is the positive, the silver line I'm going to get of us getting knocked out of the cup is that the likes of, Ndombele was going anyway, but the likes of Sanchez got sold because he was absolutely atrocious in that game. He was awful. Then fair enough. Like, do you know what? I'll hold my hands up and go, do you know what? He did the right thing. For me, I will still sway on what Soren's saying in the sense of, for a team that doesn't win anything, we need to be taking any trophy seriously. And
we all agree with that, though. We all agree with that. We all agree with that.
The thing where I think I don't agree with you sorry, Robbie. The thing I don't agree with you in the sense is that he did it for the sake of being able to go to Levy the next day and say, "I told you he must know we need to get rid of him already." Yeah.
No, he does. He does. But does Levy?
Come on, Levy must know.
So why has he been here? Why has Eric Dyer been here 10 years? 10 years.
Because how do we know the other managers haven't asked for him to stay? Look,
but you just said Levy should know that they're bad. So how can Levy should know they're bad? But then the new manager's gone, "Yeah, we want to keep him," and you don't think he would have gone, "Are you sure?"
Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is that if Ange knows he's not good enough, and we're gonna back Ange in the long run, and this comes back to what Alex was saying earlier, then his word should be good enough without having to say, "Right, I'm going to show you, and we're going to get knocked out of the cup so I can prove to you." If Ange turns around and says, "I don't want that player," we should be getting rid of him. We shouldn't need to prove.
Yeah, no. Listen, we all agree. Yeah. But you do realise we're talking about Daniel Levy, right?
Yeah, I do. But what I'm trying to say is that I don't think he went out with the mentality and just thought, look, we'll chance getting knocked out of this cup so I can prove that.
No, I don't believe that I don't believe that he went into that thinking I'm going to play this team and we're going out. I think he probably thought we saw them at Barcelona. They did the job. We may scrape through, and it'll prove my point that the second team isn't as good as the first, and all kind of roll into one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think that it's like one of those things. It's like, you know, the only way I could describe it is I reckon he went into the office the next morning, almost like we would go into work if we beat Arsenal. You know, like shoulders back, head high, strutted through the office. How's everyone doing? And he would have been like, what was that? It's like, I played my players in my team.
Do you not think it would be a bigger statement from Ange to walk into Daniel Levy's office and say, I ain't playing him again, so get rid of him?
Well, this is the next stage for me. For me, the next stage is if Dyer is not in that squad on the next game, that is Ange saying, I tried to tell you these ain't good enough. You've done nothing about it. I am not putting him in my club anymore.
Yeah.
No, I think Dyer's good. I just want before you said, I just want to pick up some data. So why does no one mention that we made 10 more? He made 10 changes, right, against the win against Burnley. But the context of that, it was the 10 players that came back in. Players were the players that we wanted to play against Fulham, right?
Yeah.
So
I think he was joking.
I don't know. People would jump on it. I hope that was a joke, Dave. But you know
of course, he's not going to say about bringing all our best players back.
Yeah, that was the reason why.
I think Robbie had something, whichever way is.
Big up, Dave.
Yeah, big up, Dave. Much love, mate. Yeah, guys, listen. You know what? Like, we can scream and shout, but listen, things are good at Tottenham, right? Let's be positive, right? Yeah. Things are good.
Did you know my one ask is let's all get together as a fan base rather than have one over there, one over here, one over there. Enjoy the moment that we're in. Expect nothing, and whatever happens. Let's get on the roller coaster, enjoy the ride.
Perchy, Robbie's got something to say.
Go on, Robbie, do it. I'll make him the leader now. Look, there you go. Go on, Robbie. You're in charge of
about the Fulham game. My thing on that was, if you're going to make that many changes, do it in a league game. I think you've got 38 league games a season, and in a transition year, if you're going to change things around, change it around in there, because you lose a game, you've got the next game to do it. You know, get knocked out of the cup, it's out. And for a club who hasn't won a trophy since 2007, I think that was the wrong choice.
2008. 2008.
Yeah, I agree.
It's 2008, weren't it? Yeah.
I don't think the club's going to be. I don't think the fans are ever going to be together. I'm sorry, I don't agree with that, because it's only because of one man, Daniel Levy. He ain't leaving. So, you know what I mean. And that's I've come to that realization a long time ago, and that's it. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be always Levy out, and there's going to be always Levy in, and that's it. You know, and there's going to be people in the middle just fed up of it, like me. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
You know, so I think
say one thing, and I agree with you what you just said before you start attacking me. I don't think there is such a person as Levy in, and you know that I'm not necessarily Levy out, and that doesn't make me Levy in. Yeah, I just, like you've just said, he's not going anywhere. So the realization is, you get on with what we've got. Now, if you went tomorrow, I'd be there with you all partying. I'm not leaving in.
Yeah,
I'm not looking at you, Soren.
I know you're not. I know. But what I'm saying is, I don't think there is such a person as Levy in.
No,
I get it.
The way we're run, surely not.
I'm not interested in the whole thing anyway. But I do go to Levy out protest. Not really that much. You know, I don't want to make a big deal about it. But I'll go. But it's just that. And by the way, Soren, it wasn't. Listen. I know you mentioned something really personal, so I wasn't having a go at you because of that. Because I
don't take any offense.
I wasn't going to get into that anyway. You know what I mean? That's why I was trying to. You know what I mean?
Alex, you're good, mate. You're cool. Genuine. You're a top guy.
The point is that I just think at the moment I've just given up on this unity until he's gone, and it's not happening. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm kind of like on the side of what Kuva and Asmatit are saying. Enjoying the football side of things, you know what I mean? But with an eye opener, knowing what sort of thing I need to watch out for and what's going to happen, and that's it. And that's what I'm saying at the moment. You see what I'm saying? But I understand what some of his decisions are made, what Postecoglou made those decisions. I do understand that. I understand the criticism, but I understand the rationales of what he does, because Man City do it every single beginning of the season. They're not great beginning of the season every single time because they're trying out new things. Yeah, right. But at the end of the season, they're always on the money because they're all ready, because they've done all this during the beginning of the season. You see what I'm saying? And that's why they won the treble last season. And Arsenal didn't win the treble They didn't win anything last season.
I'll pull you up on one little thing in there where you say you don't think the fans will come together. The fans will come together every time we score a goal. Doesn't matter who stood next to you.
I agree there.
You hug, you scream, you shout, you love each other. If at the end of the season we win a cup, all the fans will be behind each other. The only difference is, there is a fan base out there that doesn't agree. But we all come together at the very end where we all want the same thing, and that is for our club to win no matter what.
This season, I think the fan base has been together, though, to be fair. I think
100%.
Everyone's Enoch out or Enoch in or whatever, and everyone has a different opinion on Levy. But as soon as, from what I've seen, the fans enter into the away end or into the home ground, there's been no sort of talk about the ownership. And personally, I'm completely out on Enoch out. But I think the whole thing, support the team, not the regime, I think sums it up. And I think so far this season, different people have different opinions, but they've got behind the team. You weren't seeing that last season. A lot of that's to do with the great football we're playing and the positivity around the club. And you look at that Burnley away end, and you look at the away end against Bournemouth. And I know our fans have always been good. Even last season, our fans were good, in away games, and our away fans are quality. But that Fulham game, we were 1-0 down against Fulham. Didn't hear a peep from those Fulham fans. The whole fan base together throughout the entire game.
I agreed.
People who have been have said that's the best home atmosphere in a long time they've seen at the Lane. I think this great football is bringing the fans together once they enter into the stadium.
Agreed.
The away fans.
Agreed.
The away fans have always been the best. I've been to loads of away games, and they've always been fantastic. But this Levy in, Levy out thing, right? I don't know many fans that's pleased with the ownership.
Agreed.
No one's pleased with the ownership.
No one is.
It's not all right.
Well,
if you are an accountant, then Daniel Levy's marvelous.
Yeah.
But if you're solely a football fan,
he's not.
No, you're not happy with him. Well, you've only got to go back to the time that Poch was here. We knew he only wanted a few players, and we'd have won the bloody league twice. Twice we would have won the league. The Leicester year and the Chelsea year.
The thing is, though, Sheriff. Sorry, I don't know your name.
Mark.
You seem to be of a similar age to me. We talk about Hoddle and ideas and things like that, and we've seen cups.
Yeah.
So when we go back to when we started supporting Spurs, it was a totally different thing. It was about us. It was about the fans. It was about the game of football. And as people say, the beautiful game. It's not anymore. Nothing in the world is about that anymore. It's about money. And the rollover of money and the successful. Now, the biggest problem is where us fans get together, we all look on things differently. And Alex is one of the most passionate people I see in that way. That he wants to see success on the field. And I get that. And we want that success. And Alex has come into it. And I hope I'm not being disrespectful, but you're nowhere near the age that us two are. Sorry, this side. I presume you're a lot younger than us. If not, you've had a nice, easy life, mate, because you look good. But you look at it and you think, people of our age, we see the development of the club itself and how it's changed and how it's run, and we don't like the on-field thing. Nobody likes the on-field side of Tottenham Hotspur until now. I mean, suddenly it's got a lot better than it has been. But this is where I think a lot of people misunderstand people like me when we say we're not Levy out, because we see the good he's doing as the club, as a football manager, as a business. But that's not good enough as a football fan. Now, we are basically just customers now. You go to a football match, and this is the problem where Mark's just said, you hear the away fans, and that every game they are superb.
Yeah.
I've been stood in the middle of a lot of away games, and the hair on your arm stands up because of the atmosphere. You can't hear anything else other than your own fans. You go depending where you sit in our stadium now. You don't necessarily get that same atmosphere apart from a few games where all of a sudden. Now the Arsenal game year before, was it last year? Year before I won it. That was the most electric I've ever seen. I was stood there and there were almost tears strolling down my eyes because of the way it was. Last year, it was horrible being in that stadium. Absolutely, it was toxic in the stadium sometimes. You come to it this year, and all of a sudden, the fans are singing again. We've got our football back.
Sorry. Just one thing. If you go back to the old White Hart Lane, that was every game. The ground used to literally bounce.
Yeah.
Bounce.
Mm.
I remember.
But I think what we're saying is basically what Robbie said.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Just one more quick thing. I remember being in there, and you could literally feel the terraces moving. Like the terraces were bouncing up and down. And I was only fairly young, and so I wouldn't be stood with all the hooligans and the, because my dad used to take me to what he said was a quiet bit, but no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I just want to read this out. Big up Adrian Shear. Sorry, I did miss this some earlier. So Spurs fans need to use this season to build unity. I think that's what a lot of us are sort of put across. So I agree with you. Big up to you. Thank you so much for the super chat, Adrian. Much love to you, mate. I hope all things well over in Singapore. Where was I? Yeah, this was the last point. But what we're going to do, I wasn't going to stay on for longer, but I just realised it's half an hour until Sav's charity stream. So do you know what? We'll stay on for half an hour and then we'll redirect everyone straight over there at midday. And then Sava starts for 24 hours because he's trying to raise money for the British Heart Foundation. So please, when you do go over there, guys, go and share the love. If you can donate a couple of quid, it genuinely means the world because it's a really, really good cause. Here's a question for you guys, though. Did anyone see last night Yves Bissouma came off the bench? He only played about 20 minutes. And honestly, the assist he gave in the Mali game was absolutely sublime. Did anyone see it?
Yeah, mate, he fake shotted it. The keeper dived. Keeper got back up, dived at his feet. He ball rolled it past the goalkeeper. It's like, you're just taking the mick. It was absolutely disgusting. Should have been sent off for doing it.
Oh, it was absolutely filthy. I tell you what, we've got a player here, right? And someone mentioned it earlier, and I said, and I'd like to get you guys your thoughts on it, guys, on that midfield we've got right now. We've got Sarr, Bissouma, Maddison. We need those three wrapped in cotton wool all season, right? Alex, what are your thoughts on those three in midfield?
Well, they're doing well at the moment. I don't agree that they need to be wrapped in cotton wool, and it leads back to what I said for the Fulham game. You see what I'm saying? I think it just means that, and it also leads back to that things are changing at Tottenham. But it is a new era at Tottenham where we're basing it on not the players that we've got mainly in the squad. I think we're going to try and bring through young players. Whether that's going to be successful this season, I don't know. Whether it will be successful, and then we'll see what the longevity on it is going to be important. I don't agree, though, that they should be wrapped up in cotton wool, though, because that is showing that we've got a squad problem again. You see what I'm saying? So,
I think. Can I just say something before I leave? I've got to leave in a second. Is that all right?
Okay, mate. I
think what we mean by wrapping them in cotton wool is the drop off is so great between Bissouma or Harry Winks or
you mean Skip?
Yeah, I think the drop off is so big, and obviously again that's Daniel Levy's fault. So I think what we're saying is the reason we need to wrap him in cotton wool is because Daniel Levy hasn't brought any sort of process in it ready for that sort of situation. But for me, again, just keep supporting. Everyone get together, boys. I think we've got a really good team, and come on the Spurs.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thanks, genuinely. Thanks for coming on, James.
Lovely talking to you all.
We'll do something soon, definitely.
Do not catch too many.
Yeah, I'll go put back in. Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, mate. Take care. Take care. Yeah.
See, I'm going to go opposite to that with James. I agree with Alex that we can't afford to wrap him in cotton wool because, look, if we're going to go down the premise of this is a building season, then if we lose one player or two players, we should have enough quality in there still to carry on for a game or two. If we lose 9 players, we know we're stuffed. But, you know, like Alex said, we can't wrap them in cotton wool. We've got to keep this going. And if we're only expecting, and I'm not paraphrasing anybody, if we're only expecting to finish 8th and that still be good because we're showing some progress, then if we lose a player or two now, it's not the end of the world. This is where I think the confusion comes, where I was saying, you know, changing 9 players for the cup was the wrong decision because we can do it in the league without being too many expectations about losing an odd game. We're losing the cup, we're out. We haven't got another chance to go in that particular cup and win anything. So, you know, you've just got to keep playing these players that are doing well. And if we get an injury, we could wrap them in cotton wool and still get an injury. So why wrap them in cotton wool? Not the chance.
This is the thing, though, Soren. Sorry to interrupt you, but you're speaking what my language is at the end of the day. It's like, if you're going to bring up these youngsters and you're going to give them a chance, well, you got to give them the process to do that and make the mistakes, and that's it. And if it's a good vibe at the moment, this might be the perfect time to do it. But you know that there's going to be mistakes. And if they have a good season, they might get a bit big-headed. And this is where you got to put them down a little peg or two. You know what I mean? Because Tottenham Hotspur with their youngsters haven't been successful. The only person that we've been successful with recently has been Harry Kane. Yeah. All the other youngsters like Edwards, everyone was bigging him up. Yeah. Had a bad attitude and went out the door. You know what I mean? Parrott. He was.
Are we talking about just academy players or players we bought?
Yeah, academy players. You know what I mean? You know,
players we bought young though. There's a handful of the ones we bought young and they've come good.
Exactly. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but it's the point is that you need to nurture them and bring them up, like, you know. And the thing, unfortunately, we haven't got the process in place where it's happened constantly to do that. And that's where I'm saying we can't wrap these players up in cotton wool. You know what I mean? You know, and this is why I wasn't going mad when everyone was saying, "Oh, we ain't bought nobody." I was like, "Well, what did you expect?" Because I knew Postecoglou was going to have to make do. You know what I mean? I knew he had to make do. You know what I mean? And this is the whole point. So why are we getting so excited? Because you know what the whole thing with Daniel Levy is. You know what I mean? It's no point, because it's like every season we go through this every season, and that's it. Since why I'm still skeptical at the moment. Still, that's my point I'm making. So
yeah, and I think you're spot on with that, Alex. I mean, the thing is, we've bought young Alex Scott. Well, what's the point in buying him when we've got a manager that can put his Ashley Phillips? Yeah. You know, we've got a manager now that can put his arm around a player and say, right, you're good enough to go and play. Get out there and play. Now, this is where us as fans have to make sure that if he does have a stinker, we don't get onto him yet. We've got to give him time. And this is where I agree with Alex that we've got players in there that, I mean, our first 11 is almost as good as anybody's in the league. And
agreed.
You know,
we're sung up front. We're sung up front, by the way. Sung up front. Sung up front.
Yeah, Son is annoying. Yeah, Son is annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, though, you know, if we have one injury, right, we can get past one injury. If we have 2 injuries, we're starting, you know, 3 injuries. That's where we're starting to push it now. If we get an injury at the back, that's kind of our weakest spot, but surely this is where we've got to say to these youngsters, right, get in there. Look, you know, don't worry. You know, if we know you're going to make a mistake or two. Yeah. Let's just do what we can, and we get past game by game by game by game.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's. Do you know what? It's a good point. I do agree. I think for me, when I made the comment about wrapping cotton wool, I said, you look at that midfield, you say the drop-off is a big drop-off, right? Yeah. Centre-half, you could argue in the same. Centre-half is the same one, but you're right. But that's why I was happy that we got rid of Sanchez. There was a lot of people that went, oh, we've got to keep him, we need cover. Listen, I'd rather an 18-year-old Ashley Phillips than a
Dorrington,
Davinson Sanchez who's been failing us for years after years.
Go. Just quickly, is you talk about that midfield. There's a big difference between our midfield now and last season, for argument's sake, that we're now playing three. So if we have one injury in them three, it's not as bad as last year where we would have had an injury in two. That's the big difference. That, you know, if we lose, say, Pat Sarr and Skippy comes in, it's a downgrade. But it's kind of not as big a downgrade as what it would have been last year had he only had one other partner.
Yeah, no, that's a fair shout. That's a fair shout.
You can sort of cover up. You can sort of cover up, can't you?
Yeah.
You got Benton in as well when he comes back from injury.
Bentancur, yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, when Bentancur comes back, which is November, but I think you're going to be talking January or February before we really see him back to form properly. You know, we've got the cover then. But the argument could be that, well, if we get an injury in midfield, what's wrong with bringing Kulu into midfield and putting somebody else on the wing?
You could shuffle it, and I think that's such a good point about it. And I think this is what I just said. I said, for me, I'm happy that this old guard, if you want to call it, or the failures of the past are starting to leave the football club, right? 2 more to go. Eric Dyer and Hugo Lloris, goodbye. They're next to go, right? We have to figure out a way to go. And just before we carry on, guys, I just want to say in the chat, guys, there's 174 of you in here, 108 likes. Keep smashing the likes. And thank you to all the new subscribers today. We've had about 10 new subscribers or whatever it is. So we're about, do my math, 33 away from 2,200. So keep going. We get there. Hopefully we can get there by the end of the weekend. Would be absolutely lovely. And obviously go and subscribe to Mr. Box Office TV. Go and subscribe to Lily White Lane. The other 2 amazing people are just amazing guests. But they've got...
Will you buy me a pint? Will you buy me a pint in the pub?
I'll buy you a pint anytime, my friend. Of course I will. Definitely. So thank you guys for all joining and listening. There's been a really good laugh. It's some really good debate. We're going to go for another 15 or so minutes. So if there's any questions in the chat, you want to throw some questions to the panel, that'll be amazing. Now the other question is the last one. We'll do the last real topic here. Brennan Johnson. Where does he go? Where do you put Brennan Johnson, right, guys? Do you start him? Do you sit him on the bench? Do you play him left? Do you play him right? Do you play him down the middle? I'll leave it to you, amazing people.
That is one positive with our wingers now, is that we can rotate them. We can rotate. I personally believe that we should have spent that money on a backup centre back, and we're seeing now with Romero being doubtful that it might be, quite heavy pressure to rely on the likes of Dorrington or Ashley Phillips to come in as the centre back. But we spent the money on Johnson, and I think you're looking at that right wing position. You've got Kulusevski, Johnson, Solomon, who can play there as well. Left wing, you've got Son, Solomon, Perisic. Whilst it's not all top class quality, you have got some very good options when it comes to those wing positions. For me, I think Johnson, settling into the team. I think maybe you start him. I think starting him against Sheffield, probably not. I think
I think Sheffield United would be the perfect opportunity
with the lads. I think after the Arsenal game, I think then you start giving him a couple starts, seeing how he settles in, because the rest of these players have settled into this squad and team for weeks and weeks. He hasn't had that time yet. But look, I'm not against the signing of Johnson. I think we should have spent the money elsewhere. But I think give him some time, maybe come off the bench in the Arsenal game, depending on what the scoreline is. Maybe give him a fair few minutes in the Sheffield game. I think we've got to let him sort of settle into that squad before we start him, personally.
Yeah, no, listen, I kind of disagree to a certain extent. For me, I think Sheffield United is the perfect opportunity to get him. He's a really, really fast lad. And Soren, I'll come to you on this. For me, I think starting him against the Sheffield United home crowd, I think that would be a really, really good opportunity to go and say, go on, show us what you've got. What do you think, mate?
I'm going to shock you. I'm going to disagree with you again. I agree with Robbie. I think, to me, Solomon deserves another start.
I agree. I'm on about the other side. I would have put him over Kulu.
I'm one of those people that think if you've had a half decent game, you shouldn't necessarily get dropped. And then when you have bad games, you get dropped and give somebody else a chance. And if they have good games, then they don't get dropped because they've had a good game. So, I don't think we need to rush to bring him in. He's a youngish lad.
I do agree with that.
So, wait. He's got to wait for his chance. Now, had he been a superstar coming into the team, and you kind of think, right, yeah, he's got to start. Look, I mean, I know we're probably talking about replacing Kulu, but Kulu hasn't necessarily been terrible. He's not been great, but to me, he hasn't done enough to warrant being dropped as well. Yeah. Now, the way I would look at Johnson is we start with the same 11 that we've started if they're all fit. Kulu or left-hand side Solomon. If they have a bad start, we bring Johnson on. If he has a good game, then you look at starting him. Yeah. He's got to earn that place. A bit like what Alex is saying with, you've got to earn the respect and you've got to earn your place on the team. You shouldn't necessarily be an instant starter. So if the 11 that are starting are doing well, then they deserve to start the next game.
Yeah.
If one is weaker, you then change it. You've got to give these players a thought of, well, if I've had a good game, I'm going to stay in the team. Last year, you have a good game. Oh, suddenly he reverts back to another player because he doesn't want you in the team anyway. So you've got to give him the confidence to come in, have a good game, and know that they're going to probably keep that position. So to me, starts at the bench and bides his time to get in.
I honestly think.
Go on, Mark.
I honestly think that Johnson in the Sheffield United game, he'll come off the bench. We'll be 3-0 up. We'll be 3-0 up or something by half time.
Only 3.
Well, all right.
Only 3.
Seven.
Where's Kuva? Where's Kuva with his 7-3 prediction?
Yeah, but no. But like he'll get 20 minutes, and Andrew say to him, "Look, just go and do what you got to do.
Have fun out there. He'll go and say, "Have fun out there."
Because to be honest, from every press conference and whatever I've seen of him online, that's all he says anyway. Just go and play football.
Yeah.
Just go and play football.
It has that very Harry Redknapp feel. Was just go and play some football.
And
right?
it's like, he'll say, look, the fans have paid good money to come and see you. They want some entertainment. Go and give it to them. And we certainly never had that last year. It was like, hang on for dear life.
Yeah.
Defend for like 80 minutes.
Same players letting everyone down, getting starts, right? I agree.
Defend for 80 minutes and then see if you can score a lucky one on the break. And then that's it. Game over.
Yeah, literally. That's what
to be honest, going back to what you were saying, like, this is the first time for years that I've been excited to watch us. Years.
Hang on.
I mean, last year, if I missed 20 minutes of it, we were probably 3-0 down by then anyway. So what's the point? It didn't matter.
No.
I agree. Alex, mate, what would you think, mate? What are you saying about, would you start him against Sheffield United, give him an opportunity, or does that 11, if that 11's fit, does that 11 pick itself the one that beat Burnley last weekend?
I admit it right now. I think I put on Wheel Tottenham TV. I said that he's below average Jamie Vardy with pace.
That means he's going to be sensational. By the way.
Well, yeah, that could be the point.
Every time you do that, it means he's going to become an absolute world beater, right? So
I know.
we're signed Lionel Messi, Welsh Messi now. It's fine. We're good.
Yeah, but I'm just on the point. I think the likelihood he'll be on the bench. And it will come on. I think it also depends on training as well, possibly, because I think Kulu's space can be taken. To be honest with you, and that's it. I think the thing that's positive right now about the Tottenham team at the moment, and it's ironic, I'm saying something positive, even though I'm not negative.
Hang on.
I'm just real. I like the fact that some of the players can interchange in different positions, and that's what we're doing under Poch, and that's what I think is quite clear in this team right now. So that's why I'm not that worried when if Romero goes out, there's going to be another player coming in, either actually Phillips or Emerson plays centre back. You don't know, but the thing is that what we know about Tottenham Hotspur, whether the defence is not great or not, we're still going to be attacking. So if a team scores, we're going to score more than them, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the whole point. That's the whole point at the moment. That's why I'm like Coover. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like I said, I don't agree with what Coover says most of the time. I don't agree with him that I got to be on the a road with Postecoglou at the moment because I don't see the synergy at the moment. But I see the plan, and the fact that I know is whether we don't have a great defense. If they score, we're going to try and score 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It don't make a blind bit of difference, and that for me shows me where we're going to go. And this is what I want to see in 12 months' time, 18 months' time. You know what I mean? Even if we're having a bad run, if fans are saying, I'm fed up with this, I want to win something, I still want to see the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's
no,
where
I agree on that point.
That's the point I'm making. So, but on the question on Johnson, I think he's going to be on the bench, but it would be nice to see him to start, because the thing is, though, he did do a number on Arsenal at the beginning of the season. You know what I mean? At the start of the season, didn't he?
Could cause a lot of problems.
Exactly, and they know it. They know it in their head as well. He's in their heads already. He's in their heads already. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So the one thing you see with this Tottenham team is I don't see a 0-0 this year. Do you?
No.
Yeah. You don't. I agree.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those where you at the beginning of the match you can sit there and think we're either going to win 5-1 or we're going to lose 5-1. There don't seem to be
Spurs are that bank of both teams scoring your accumulator, aren't they?
Yeah.
Just every time Spurs are playing, both
this is
teams
the good old
score.
days, Soren.
Yeah.
This is when we used to go years ago. You didn't know. Just turn up.
You don't want to see your team sit
we
back
might get
and
stuff.
So you want to see your team entertain you and go for it. It's what you pay money for to go to, what you pay your Sky subscription or whatever to watch. So
the thing is, I mean, I remember a match. Me and my mate were sat down a few years ago, and we were playing Man U, and we were 3-0 up at half time, and I was giving him shit, and we lost 5-3 or 5-4.
Me too.
Yeah,
me too.
That's the kind of team that you want, because at the end of the game, we didn't sit there going, "Oh, that was the worst." You know, it was like, I can't believe and you were still upbeat, even though we'd lost. You were still upbeat because you'd gone out and you tried to win the game. Now, if we go out, I mean, City's going to be the big test, and Liverpool obviously coming up. But you know, if you go out and we lose 3, we're not going to lose 3-0. But you know, if you lose 3-1 or 5-1 or 5-2 or whatever, but you've given it a go. At least you can walk away and say, well, at least we tried. You know, there's nothing worse than being defensive all game and losing 3-0.
If we go to one of these big rounds, which, sorry to interrupt, but which we didn't do last season and haven't done for a long time. I know we've had 3 away games so far this season, but if we can go to, I know they're not in good form now, a St James's Park after losing their 6-1 and get a win or get a draw and play brilliantly, and Arsenal and get a good result and performance there, and Man United. And that's been one of the issues for us going to these big away grounds recently. We've just been outclassed and there's been no sort of bottleneck. We haven't been able to deal with the atmospheres. If we can go to, like I say, St James's Park and Anfield, an Old Trafford, and go there and perform and get a win there, then I think, like, right now I'm excited about Spurs. If we win against Sheffield, which we should obviously, but then if we win against Arsenal, my head will explode. I don't know what I'll be able to do with myself.
I mean,
can you remember last year? Can you remember last year at the Emirates when we went there and just rolled over and let them tickle our bellies?
Oh, don't! It was horrible.
When we were 3-1 down, and Conte starts bringing defenders on, and you're like, "What's going on?"
Honestly, it was depressing.
If we go like this year
against Newcastle, that it wasn't the fact that we got steamrolled like we did; it was the fact we got steamrolled and didn't put up a fight.
Yeah,
we didn't even care. It was all about damage limitation last season. I don't listen. I said this the other day. We go to the Emirates. I don't care if we win, lose, or draw. I just want to see us go out there and absolutely give it 100%.
Yes.
If we lose 3-1, 4-1, whatever, but at least we can say, do you know what? They were the better team today. We just couldn't match them. Every single player gave it their all.
Yeah.
I don't want us to. I hated us under Conte when we'd go to these big games and you'd go, Well, look, yeah, we lost 1-0, but we didn't even try.
Yeah.
We didn't even try.
You were the one. You're the one, and Saba, right? You and Saba, and this is what I make clear every single time when I say there are flip flops out there on Conte, because there were flip flops out there about Conte saying, "Oh, I love Conte," and now this year it's like after Postecoglou, I hated Conte. I'm like, bro, you didn't say that. You didn't say that. I was saying I said Conte needs to leave. I've said it how many times? I was streaming with you, Percy.
Yeah.
I was saying it how many times, and Sav was getting abuse. You were getting abuse as well, but Sav was getting abuse. Yeah. And now you're getting all people saying, "Oh, yeah, you're right," and everything, and they were all having a go.
I agree.
And I'm laughing at them. I'm sitting there saying, "You didn't say that," and most of them are saying, "Oh, I didn't like." And it just fathoms me. You know what I mean?
I put my flag in the mast about the Conte stuff.
In 3 weeks' time, when we go to the Emirates, if we lose, so what? So what?
Yeah.
As long as we try. As long as we try.
We roll over and to get our bellies tickled, as you mentioned. I just don't want that.
There'll be none of that anymore.
You know, I just want to see us put up a fight against these big teams.
That's the point. That's the point I'm making. It's just the point I'm making. It's just, as long as we play the way we want to play, right? Suma gives it what he is doing. Sar's doing. They need to still keep on moving. You know what I mean? I have to give props to Adoji.
Oh, what
he's not the best left back in the Premier. He's not the best left back. I wouldn't go over the top.
I'm not going that far. It's too early.
But you have to give the guy really a lot of credit. This guy's coming in the middle, being inverted and playing in midfield, bruv. Yeah,
mate, he's looking.
This guy is just he's got a fantastic attitude. Fantastic attitude.
As well.
Alex, be careful. That's twice now you've been positive. Just
bro. They come at me all the time, Bob. I'm not logical.
I love you, Alex.
I'm not logical. And by the way, big up to my man Perchy, Bob. Big up to my man Perchy, yeah, because he respects Mr. Box Office, yeah. Respect to James. Respect to James and respect to Soren as well, yeah. Respect to Robbie as well, because he always supports Mr. Box Office as well, yeah. Because I see your comments every single time. I don't ignore you, bruv. I acknowledge you, bruv. Yeah, but big up to you, Soren, yeah. Because I mean, we might argue, yeah, but the fact is we're passionate about the club. But at the end of the day, look at what's happened. We've come to reason, haven't we? You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? So that's the point, isn't it? That's how it is. Sometimes you have to have a blow off to get to the point where you want to get to. You know
I'm not sure I want a blow off, but leave it.
I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it like that. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, having just have it off your chest.
I'll have a pint, but that's as far as it's going.
Yeah. I know.
We've got some games coming up. How about this? I want to see you predict the games on the screen. Obviously, the Burnley game's already been done. So Sheffield United, Arsenal away. We're going to go for 5 more minutes, and I'm sending you all over to Football Heritage TV for 24 hours, and you're all going to sit there for 24 hours and donate loads and loads of money. But guys, Sheffield United at home. What are we saying collectively? Win, lose, draw.
4-0.
Win. Oh, man, just win.
Oh, all right.
4-0. What you said, win 4-0. I think we'll win 3-0. I'm going 3-0 on that.
I'll say 3-1.
5-0.
5. I love it, Robbie. Go on, but still nice and positive, Alex. Come on, we love you. He's going to say we're going to win 6-0.
I think it'll be a tough game, but we'll win 3-1.
Yeah. Like that, fair. Arsenal away. What are we saying?
Draw.
No.
Win.
4-3. 4-3 to us.
I like it. 4-3 loss.
1-1.
No, to us.
Oh, I was good. Oh, to us. So I think you said a lot. Okay, yeah.
No,
4-3 win. I like it.
I think 3-2 win.
Nice, Robbie.
1-1 for me. 1-1.
And I'm going for a Desmond 2-2 on that.
I'm the same as you, Perchy. 2-2.
Desmond 2-2. Tottenham Liverpool at home.
Draw.
What are we saying though? What's your draw going to be?
2-2 or 3-3.
I think 2-1 Spurs.
Yeah.
Because I think their defense is not great. I don't think their defense is great either. I think you can.
We can get them.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those games. I think it's going to be high. I'm gonna tweak it and go. I was going to say draw, but do you know what? I'm going to be positive. 3-2 Spurs.
I'm going to say 4-2 Tottenham.
5-2.
Oh, I like this.
5-2. 5-2.
Oh,
I don't think Van Dijk is playing that game, isn't he? Because he's sent off. He's suspended.
No, he only got 1 match ban. It was only a 1 match ban.
Oh, okay, fair
That was a straight red, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was still considered a one-match ban. I might be wrong. Someone can confirm it though in the chat. I'm sure it is. Anyway, Luton Town away.
Win.
12-0.
Oh, here we go.
I wouldn't say
55
that.
nil.
Oh no.
I say
1-0.
I say 4-0, 4-0, maybe possibly.
Yeah, I think we'll become. I think
So
we'll
this is the one where I think, typically this is the one we'd lose, isn't it? But
it would. Yeah, it would. It's Spurs if we lose it.
Yeah, I mean, I think 3-0.
Oh yeah, fair enough. That's fair.
I mean, these. Can I just point out, these are all assuming we've got our strongest 11 out.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In theory, it's the 11, the strongest 11 we play, of course, yeah. Tottenham Fulham at home.
A win. I don't know. I think 2-0.
What was it last year? 3-1. I was at the game last year.
Yeah. This is the one that I find the most interesting because if we win, it comes back to that cup lose, doesn't it? But I think if we batter them, that's where it shows we was wrong. But I would say 3-1.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say 2-0 on that. I think we'll get a clean sheet against it.
I'm going to be negative. I think this is where we slip up. I'm saying 1-0 Fulham.
Ooh, I like it. It's a weird one.
No, it's not. You're not being negative, Bobby. You're giving your own opinion on it.
I think no.
Going
on my predictions, if we would have beaten Liverpool and these teams, everything would be so positive. I know we've seen it before.
I know what you mean.
I just think we'll take that game a bit easy.
Can I just point out though, on the scores we've all just given, we're basically winning the league.
Yeah, basically, that's how it works. So
there's only one of us thinks that we're going to really lose one game in that lot.
I was going to say though, the Crystal Palace games where we dropped points was where I thought Crystal Palace away is one of those games where we might. I think it finishes. We might drop points, maybe 1-1. I'm going with on that. I'm still saying we're going to not.
We won 4 something. Was it 4-0 last year?
I can't remember.
I think we beat them quite convincingly last year.
Wasn't that at home though?
Yeah, it was 4-0. No, it was 4-0 Stella.
Yeah, see,
was it? Fair enough.
See, I'm not that old and stupid after all.
Okay, what are you saying then for this one then? Crystal Palace away.
3-0.
3-0 win away from home. I like it.
Easy.
Scott?
We're winning it all. We're winning it all this year.
Winning it all. I love that.
2-1.
2-1. Robbie?
I'm going scrappy 1-0 Spurs.
Scrappy 1-0. Mr. Box Office, the main event.
Crystal Palace, yeah?
Yeah.
Crystal Palace away.
This is going to be a scrappy one, I think. So I think, what day is that? Is it on a Saturday or is it on a Monday?
October 27th. That is we're going all the way. October 27th is a Friday night. We've got Friday night kickoff.
Friday night kickoff. Okay.
Is that a 9 o'clock kickoff?
Yeah, 9 o'clock Friday night.
Is it?
Oh no, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So no,
it'll be 8 o'clock. Sorry, I'm in Spain. Sorry, so
it'll be 8 o'clock. Right, yeah. So it's 8 o'clock. Yeah.
So I say
8 o'clock kickoff. Sorry.
I say it's going to be a scrappy one, a tough one. I think it will be. I think that's where we're going to get a 1-1. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I was going to say. I'm saying 1-1 as well. I agree. I think it's
because I think they'll just make it very difficult. I think the thing that will tell whether we ain't going to pot for quite a while, but I think it will tell to see whether we can still keep on doing the things that that Postecoglou wants us to do, and whether we're not going to go revert back to type. You know what I mean? To what we were doing before.
That's
I think
that's a fair point.
That's where I think where Postecoglou is, and this is why I'm still skeptical at the moment. Is that he's even said it? You can't pop that soon, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. So
and
these sort of games, you just got to keep on doing the same things and try and learn, and that's it. And try and get through the game, and hopefully you be successful doing that. But I think it's gonna be a 1-1 draw, that one.
Fair enough. I'll quickly do the last three all together, only because I've just looked at the time and we need to send you straight over. We've got to send straight over there because it's 12 o'clock now. So. Chelsea at home, Wolves away, Villa at home. What are we saying, Mark?
9 points. Chelsea would be 6-0.
I bet you can't wait to sack your old lover. Get him sacked.
Who?
Pochettino. Who?
Pochettino.
I like that.
I don't know who he is.
Soren, what are you going for? Last three games.
7 points.
Okay, that's fair. I like that. Robbie?
Yeah, I'll go 7. I think we smashed Chelsea 7 points.
Yeah,
I think we smashed Chelsea, beat Wolves, draw against Villa. That's what I think. I think 7 as well. Foxy, my mate.
I say on the safe side, I'll say 4 points.
Oof.
I don't know where. I think we're going to get a draw out of and I think one of them and lose one of them.
That wouldn't make. Oh wait, yeah. So 4 points would be 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw.
Yeah. So I think that's where I'm. I don't know where we're going to get the loss though, because I'm still skeptical on that Chelsea game because I am confident. Because I think they're still going for their rebuild. But I think Aston Villa is going to be a very tricky game because Emery's. I think we will beat Wolves, but Emery's a very tactical.
He's a good manager.
Yeah. So he will have our, he will have us watched and scouted very well for that game.
The problem is when we play Arsenal and Chelsea, it's not about form; it's just on the day, innit?
No, I agree, guys. I'm gonna have to wrap it up. It's actually I've had a really good chat today because obviously Savas wants to go live and listen. This is his moment. He's doing a charity stream. So listen, guys, thank you so much for coming on. That was a good laugh today. Everyone in the chat, don't go anywhere. I'm sending you straight over to Football Heritage TV. And obviously, guys, go over and subscribe to Mr. Box Office. Subscribe to Robbie. Share the love on these guys. Guys on Twitter or whatever, wherever you are, go and share the love. Like, guys, listen. Thank you so much. Listen, it's been a pleasure, right? Listen, it's been a good laugh. We've had good debate. And listen, and on that note, guys, I'll leave you with the man with the comments, shall I? My outro is going to sound even worse now, isn't it? On that note, guys, listen, peace out. Thank you so much. And guys, I'm assuming you guys will be involved in the charity stream at some point or another. So listen, on that note, guys, I'll see you later. Peace out. Thank you very much, guys, in the chat.
Come on, you Spurs.
And here's Kane. He sits on Tottenham's loftiest perch, beyond even the great Greaves. Spurs.